Ladies and gentlemen, it has been 5 years and about 4 months since we played the first game. That's been a minute. I have been curious about starting up the second game for about that long, give or take. Obviously, and I mentioned this yesterday, the first game did well enough that I was curious where they were going with it, especially knowing the continuity heaviness of it. I've also been told this is actually, in many ways, the actual first game, as opposed to the actual first game, which I guess we call that a forward here. Let's talk about the making of this game very, very briefly. There's a wonderfully extensive interview by Jason Schreier of a man named Andrew Dice, who was one of the big people who did a lot of the localization of this. We also have some information from a woman named Jessica Chavez. So, I mentioned this yesterday, but to reiterate briefly, the first game sold reasonably well in Japan, and word of mouth and that cliffhanger pretty quickly spread around. And for those of you not aware, the PSP was always a much bigger. It's Jason Schreier. I'm comfortable citing Jason Schreier as a source because I check my sources. So in Japan, the PSP was actually a much bigger thing than it was here. Yeah, the PSP, I do firmly blame Sony for this because the PSP was a perfectly good system with perfectly good games on it. It's just it wasn't supported, was badly marketed, and had an absolute flop of a launch. If that sounds familiar, then I just described the Wii U. A perfectly good console, which yada yada yada. Anyways, so point here being that the PSP was pretty big. The game sold very well and spread, and everyone liked it. It was like, oh, we gotta have the sequel, gotta have the sequel. And they smashed the sequel out very, very, very quickly. And it came out, everything was cool. It came out in 2006, so just a little over, excuse me, a little under 2 years later. Cool. Okay, that works, that works. I actually played a lot of PS1 games on my PSP. Officially. Like you could buy it through the PSN back when that was a thing on the PSP. Whatever. And there was some push and some pull. This was the mid to late aughts, and so there was a lot more connectivity between the fan bases of people in the West, which I include pretty much just Europe and the United States in that, along with a bit of Canada, and Japan, right? Those two fan bases had started to connect thanks to the miracle of the internet. And so a lot of players from both groups started sharing information about concepts and things that either they didn't know about or that they weren't even aware of, right? As a reminder, a whole lot of games didn't even come out of Japan. Some of them still haven't. Some of them took years to come out in an official version. Some of them, like just to use two examples, Trials of Mana took until the remake to finally get, and the re-release of the port, to finally actually come out in the West. And Mother 3 never has. Just to name two examples, literally just right off the top of my head. So this is a thing, and obviously Trails in the Sky won. It was not exactly a new game. People had heard of Ys before. Ys games had come out over here, but never really made a big splash, all things considered. It was just kind of like, it's fine. It's a niche game, like the thousands of other niche JRPGs that there were at the time. I'm not saying Ys is a niche JRPG. In fact, I would actually argue Ys is probably the actual progenitor of the JRPG. I mean, in the West, it didn't make a big splash, but people had heard of Falcom and they heard of the Legend of Heroes series, and the people in Japan were just gushing and gushing and gushing about this game, and that led to the eventual localization by Xseed of the game that we just played, finished yesterday. That was it was rough. No, not the localization, which was serviceable. It was rough, the process of localizing it. As you saw, as I demonstrated, as I stopped reading everything out loud to save my poor vocal cords, there's a lot of text, and I mean a lot. And so they're going down the list, getting that thing, working way too many hours across way too much time. Xseed was actually kind of a smaller company at the time. And so this is considered like a big win for them. So they were treating this like the big paycheck that they really had to throw their all into in order to make this happen. So they did, and then 2011 rolls around, and the game finally comes out in the West and bombed. Now, I actually talked about this already. The biggest contributor, by far, as to why it bombed is the fact that it was on the PSP. That's it. That's the reason. Could be other contributory factors, but that's the big one, because by every metric we have, and I've double-checked a few of these figures, the people who were interested in it did buy it on the PSP, and that was kind of it. And yeah, the PSP here in the States was ultra dead by 2011. Keep in mind, the PSP was never as big in the States as it was over in Japan. So it was already a smaller market, and it was already a dead market. Now, Falcom straight up refused to release it on anything other than PSP for quite a while, actually. And we could debate why exactly they finally decided to do a PC release. It's worth noting PC release sold much better. But keep in mind all of that. Now, that's 2011, right? Now remember, the second game, the one we're going to be starting today, came out in 2006, a full 5 years earlier. So this ran into a couple of issues, because the fans who actually did pick it up were already clamoring for the second game. When are you going to localize the second game? And there was a legitimate push to show that there was interest in it, even though the sales figures were flagging behind. And so a whole lot of people were like, this is just a whole lot of people who didn't actually know where they were going to go with it, what they were going to do with it, should we bother, etc. So XC decided, why don't we go ahead and subcontract? And this is where Andrew Dice actually comes into that. He has a smaller company called Carp Fulger. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Shrug. And that's a very small localization company whose job it is to just kind of handle raw localization translation. Like literally just, here's a chunk of text, translate this, and then get it back to us. So this is also, like I said, Falcom was refusing to do a port. So everything was kind of bad. And Mr. Dice and his cohort, Williams, I believe is his name, Robin Light Williams, were both ultra crunching, in addition to Xseed crunching, to get this game localized. At this point, they were actually under contract about this. I don't want to get too much into speculation, because most people say that the main reason that Falcom went with NISA instead of Xseed was because of, better bidding. But I've actually firmly believed for years that Xseed just kind of washed their hands of the Trails of series because of just how horrifically nightmarish it was working on these games. At the very least, I'm sure it's contributory. So Mr. Dice and his company are doing the best thing they can or to try and make all of this stuff work and get this stuff localized. And that led to a problem, a very major problem. They sent over some of the work they'd already finished, and it was in the wrong file format. For those of you not aware, most of the time when you're doing these kind of localization things, you want every piece of data, every line that's going to be translated directly into the game to be in its own cell. So you do a spreadsheet, right? So it's easy to point at that point. C15 is for entry number whatever, and you can do direct pointers that way and translate the text. So like a software can actually take the spreadsheet and more or less dump it with the right pointers into the game proper. Make sense? So this is actually industry standard, but they didn't do that. It was just a raw text file. So that meant someone, Jessica Chavez, had to manually copy-paste all of that localized text into the spreadsheet and make sure they were in the right places in the right orders. Because remember, the pointers are kind of important. You need to make sure each cell is pointing to the right line and vice versa. So that was a very costly, difficult mistake. And that there was also another issue on top of all of this. So here's the deal. Those of you not aware, localizing... I know I've received pushback about this. I'm going to stand by my guns on this, because there's actually layers to localizing. There's your straight translation, right? Well, no, actually, there's your literal translation. That's wrong, right? Literal translation is universally a wrong translation. It's what you get if you dump something into Google Translate. and statement, right? A lot of Japanese games back in the NES and SNES era had literal translations and were barely functional. Then you have straight translations. Straight translations is what we got with Final Fantasy VIII, which was an improvement, but it's almost completely devoid of anything as far as writing goes. It's just accurately conveying the straight language that's being stated without any of the meaning or nuance that goes into it. This is one of the reasons why FF8 is so problematic on the story axis in English, is because a huge amount of characterization isn't there. Then there's localizing. That's the hardest step. That's the last step, and that's when you sit down and actually add some flavor. Actually add some of the intent behind what was being stated and try to convey that into the new language that's being presented. Because not every idiom literally translates, right? This is a whole thing and blah, blah, blah. But the point I'm trying to get up here is there's one step I sort of skipped over on purpose. Can I help you? And the step I missed is consistency. If you translate the fantasy Esper creature, mythical creature as Esper in your game, then you want to make sure you make a note somewhere that every time that word shows up, when you switch it over to English, you replace it with the word Esper, right? That's what I mean when I say consistency. Any of you who have ever played old SNES or NES RPGs from Japan, you probably are now thinking, that's why there was inconsistency. Because, yeah, sometimes people wouldn't do that, especially in the older translations. So you need to make sure that those kind of terminologies and proper nouns are all being consistently portrayed. So, obviously, when you subcontract, you already see where this is going. So, Carp Fulgur didn't have consistency with the established terms that Xseed had already used for a lot of these terms in English, or with themselves, because their whole focus was just it was just factory line, right? They just wanted to mass translate as much text as possible because there was just so much of it. There was just such an absolutely insane quantity of text that their whole goal was to try and just churn through the largest chunk of it they could and get it out the door. So they didn't have consistency, they didn't have the right file format, and there wasn't a lot of localization going on. Once again, this led to some problems, and it reached a point where Mr. Dice had decided to commit suicide over it. Actually had procured a knife, left a suicide note, and went to his room in order to go kill himself. By what is effectively good luck, his co-worker happened to live in the same building as him, came home, found the note almost immediately, rushed over to his friend's place, and managed to talk him down from this. Now, I'm going to try to say this flippantly to turn this into a joke because this is horrifying. If you ever get to the point where your job is making you think about suicide, you probably need a new job. So Andrew Dice went ahead and quit. He didn't quit the company, of course, but he canceled the contract, which, if you know anything about contracts, you can understand why that was such a decision. But he still did. He was like, no, this is no. Because it's not like there was a degree of incompetence. This man was absolutely destroying himself and his livelihood for months on end to try and do his job. And then there was a mistake, and then there was a mistake. And it's just, no, I'm good. I'm good. We're done. We're done. So they bowed out, which left Xseed with all of the job. By the way, all of this was before the testing and QA phase. For those of you not aware, there is as regardless of all other QA testing of a game, there's actually a localization QA pass, which games are supposed to go through, which most do and have for decades at this point, where people just sit down and talk to everyone possible in every situation possible to make sure all the text is rendering properly, to make sure that it's showing in the text box the right way, to make sure that it's actually popping up in the right timing and blah, blah, blah. Because there's all sorts of stuff. It's not just a book, right? There's actually a program that's running in order to make sure that the text is spaced correctly, is placed correctly, is getting up on the screen in the right order correctly, yada, yada, yada. There's an interpreter there. There's a program that is running there to get the text onto the screen. So then there was another 6 months of doing that. So if you ever wondered why a game that came out in 2006 took until 2015 to come out in the States. And yes, by the way, if you're paying attention to the dates, that means it took them 4 years, basically after having already greenlit the project, to get just this game out here. Because they finished the English version of FC in about 2011 and shifted almost immediately to second chapter and spent 4 years localizing this game. I know that some people, I've already mentioned that I have this strong theory that some people at Falcon, but also I've seen this in general, think of the sheer quantity of text in this game as a good thing, like it's a selling point. It's a point of pride. Stuff like this is why I don't really agree with that mentality. There is such a thing as too much. Anyways, without further ado, we're going to crank it down to easy. Screw that. It's like a 70-hour game. You kidding me? Also, all it does is change the damage and health values. So let's go ahead and load our save there. So I've actually already seen this tidbit because I was doing some tech tests earlier. And yeah, it is interesting and appropriate that the second game starts off like literally the next day after the first game ended. Right. I felt good. I haven't slept like that since... What? Oh, right. We stayed in the castle last night. Joshua and I were out enjoying celebrations. We had some ice cream on the way home. Then we went to the dinner party, and then... Yeah, how's that sedative? This is Joshua's room. I was staying in the same room as Shira. Was that all a dream? Nope, she's still got that. Yeah, there's the panic setting in. Yeah, Cold Steel 4 is stupid long. It's longer than several other multiple games combined. Good morning, sleepyhead. You took your sweet time waking up. Shira? Really? Warn me next time you aren't going to come back to the evening. I was getting worried. Although, it looks like you and Joshua managed to talk quite a bit. Hey, Shira, where's Joshua? What? I'm looking for Joshua. Shira, have you seen him? This is important. I haven't seen him this morning, no. But weren't you tired yesterday and stayed at his room? He wasn't there when you woke up? What? What? Where'd you hear that from? Cassius? But why does that... Dad? Okay, where's Dad then? Last I saw he was heading towards the garden terrace. But garden terrace. Okay, thanks, bye. Wait, still wait. What on earth has gotten into her? Oh, goddess. The lovers reversed. Whee. Really? Okay. That... Oh, okay. I'll fix that in a minute. Alright, I guess I can fix it now. So, my buttons are wrong. Well, you see, that was a really, really good sedative. Oh my god. It reset all of our experience and equipment back to null. I know why they explained the quartz thing. There actually is an explanation for that. Everything else, who knows? Don't. Fine, whatever. Okay, this needs to be here. This needs to be here. Oh god, I don't remember what setup I had. Hang on, cancel. Let's fire up the first game. There we go. It was a really, really good setup. It was that good. You have no idea. Yeah, that's the quartz explanation. To my knowledge, they never tried to explain anything else away. Because screw you, that's why. What did FF7R2 do to explain that? That's an interesting question. Some of you played that, right? Hi, Lieutenant Leroy. I refuse to have a good stream. On principle. Okay, so this should be this. Okay, that's left bumper, that's left thumb. This should be X. This should be A. This should be start. This should be Y. This should be back. This should be right trigger. Okay. There's no explanation. Your stuff just doesn't carry over. Screw you, buddy. All right, listen, I know we just walked 5 feet, but all of a sudden I've lost my entire inventory. And all our materia. And all my experience. Nope. Okay, so we are level 36 with no gear, because screw you. No items, because screw you. Same options, though. So a lot of the positives and negatives are already there. It's system stuff, because it's functionally the same overall system. But I'll be paying very careful attention. Also, I want to mention something. So the first time I played this game, I ended up pulling the cheat flag because, in my opinion, there were issues with the gameplay that could only be solved with a walkthrough. Something that, on my second playthrough, I now firmly agree with and have given much more detailed negatives in order to specifically accommodate those issues that the first game had. But those issues were all a matter of implementation, execution of which items did what, which quartz did what, and how exactly the progression method worked with regard to getting Sepith, experience, and money. Hello, Adam Suda. Thank you, as always, for being part of the show. If you give me a moment, I will jot that down. Towards FF7R1, FF7R2, and Midnight. Done. This time around, we are not going to be using a walkthrough. I haven't even looked one up. Instead, we're going to be playing this. We're going to be paying attention. That is my job. And we're going to play it normally and just kind of see how it flies. I've been told by quite a few people that a lot of the very specific issues I had with the first game have been solved by the second game. And that is a normal path for a game to have. You know, expansion effect. They know what they're doing. They have the system, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I'm going to suffer, or possibly not, to see if they have actually fixed any of the issues that I had with it. I should mention one of the most common comments I saw while I was looking up some stuff off camera was that the very first chapter of this game is balls hard. And just the first chapter for some reason. We'll see how we feel about that. Estelle, Dad? We have a problem. I know, Joshua's gone. How do you know that? After getting back from the meeting last night, I found you asleep in one of our beds. He left a note on the nightstand as well. In the two, I have a fairly good idea of what must have happened. What the heck are you just standing around here for? We need to find Joshua. Stop. If he's truly gone to ground, even I have little hope of actually finding him. His skills are almost superhuman. When we fought 5 years ago, I was nearly killed by an 11-year-old. Okay, I only asked this once before, a long time ago, but who is Joshua exactly? Why did you bring him into our home? The Society of Ouroboros, who they still haven't explained 10, 20 years later. Your answer begins there, with an organization few even know exist. They are an organization that seek to manipulate the world from the shadows, led by a leader called the Grandmaster, who we still don't know who that is! Joshua was in their employ as an assassin when I first met him. I brought him home because it was the only chance to live free of them. Even the Bracers Guild knows very little about them. Only the top Bracers even learn of their existence. Given the response of the public to the idea of Ouroboros' existence to be either panic or skepticism, we don't acknowledge them publicly. But they exist. There's no question of that. They've had plans and motions for years. The recent coup is just one example of their machinations. Lieutenant Lawrence? Yes, we have absolutely no doubt he's a senior agent from their society. Of course, we doubt he was acting as a lone wolf. He must have had support to accomplish what he did. Support like Joshua, for example. What? What the heck do you mean? He stated as much as his note. Over the past 5 years, Joshua's been passing along secrets to Ouroboros. He claims he was under the influence of a mental control, didn't even realize he was doing it himself. No, he wouldn't. Ouroboros' cunning is matched only by their malevolence. Stay away from them. Stop. They're far too dangerous. Hey, I don't quite get all this, but I just want to make sure I'm hearing this right. You're saying we should abandon Joshua. Dad, answer the question. I always knew this day would come. Even 5 years ago when I took him in, I knew someday we'd reach this moment. Elbows up, Magister. He swore something to me. The first day he actually accepted he could be part of our home. The moment he became a burden or a threat to us, the moment society contacted him or pursued him in any fashion, he would disappear from our lives like a shadow dispelled by the sun, he once told me. That's supposed to... Estelle, I understand how you feel. He was part of our family. It isn't easy to just say goodbye so suddenly. There are some lines a man can never bring himself to cross. So please, try to understand what you knew. You knew Joshua might leave us someday, and you never said anything to me or did anything about it. You knew and you didn't... Sorry, Estelle. I hate you! Cassius. Shara. Sorry I had to see that. No, it's... Why do I get the feeling you're biting back a lecture? I stumbled into your life from a disaster of my own. You saved me just as you did Joshua. I understand what both you and Joshua must be thinking. To make a single comment, though, from a woman's perspective. At this point, you and Joshua are essentially the two most wretchedly miserable sons of dog I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. Poor Estelle. Of course it starts to rain. Of course it does. Poor Estelle. Joshua wouldn't run away. Oh, you okay there, miss? What are you doing without an umbrella? You don't have an umbrella either, dude. Oh? Home. Yeah, you're right. You should head home. Joshua must have headed home. He probably went right back home. Thanks, Mr. Guard. I'll head home right away. What was that all about? I swear I've seen her somewhere before. Wait, isn't that the girl who helped stop the coup? Hey. Yeah, she's not handling any of this well. I don't blame her. Weissman's a dick. Actually, I have other comments about him, but we'll get to that in a bit. So this is what Joshua said to her before he left. Hi, Yada. I hurt Joshua. He wished he never met me. He said that. He said that. No, Weissman is messed up. Even I know that. This guy's name is Insensitive Jerk. Come on now, look at this clear blue sky. Feel the gentle kiss of the wind on your cheek. A lovely girl like you ain't allowed to be sad on a gorgeous day like this. It's sad in ideas, too, you know. Hey, wait a sec. I'm not dangerous. Well, okay, maybe I come across as... Anyway, you caught my eye the moment you came aboard. You seemed a little broken up over something, so I thought to myself, hey, I'll put a smile on your face with my overpowering charm. I don't quite get what you mean, but thanks, I guess. To be honest, this is what we usually call putting the moves on. How about it? Want to head down to the lower observation deck? You can get drinks down there, too. I'd be happy to treat a new friend. What do you say? I appreciate the offer, but I'm not really in the mood. Sorry, can you just... I think I see what it is. Alright then, time to knock it off with some come-ons and put on the work face, huh? After all, it's my job to guide lost lambs like you. Alright, check this out. The previously insensitive jerk held forth a medallion with a chalice engraved in the center. Isn't it the seal of the Septian Church? Bingo. This is the Grail emblem. Let me introduce myself properly. I'm Kevin Graham. Looks and moves aside, I really am a priest of the Septian Church. Wait, for real? It's just another joke. Why'd you have to doubt me still? I'm serious. Devoted priest, you know? I never miss the trinary prayers. I always have my testaments right at hand. But I think I left them in my seat. Sorry. Yeah, that helps your case right there. You really are kind of a weirdo, Father. Laughter. Victory is mine. That's more like it. Cute girls like you deserve to smile. Anyway, if you want, I'll give you an ear in an official priestly capacity. No pickup lines. Promise. Ideas might be dead otherwise. Okay. Where do I even... and she starts crying. Whoa, hold on now. I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry anyway. It's my fault. And she starts bawling. Steady there, child. You've been keeping this bottle up for ages, haven't you? My shoulder's yours. Come on, cry it all out. I'm here. Kevin, right? I'm sorry, that was pathetic of me. Hey, you know, big, seriously, my shoulder's always got room for a girl to cry on. How about it? Feel a bit better now? Yeah, a little. I'm Estelle Bright. I'm a member of the Bracers Guild. Estelle, huh? Dang, even your name's cute. Hang on, you said Bracer Guild? Yeah, I'm a newly minted senior bracer. Might be hard to believe after seeing me break down like that, though. No, not at all. Now you mentioned it, you do look kind of loaded for bear. You martial artist of some kind? I guess you could call me that. I focus on staff combat. Though you said you're a priest? I appreciate the shoulder, but I gotta admit, you don't look like any priest I know. Or would trust. Ha! Zing. Through the chest, madam. I'll admit that us wandering priests are sheep of a different color. Wandering what now? Well, okay, you know how there's villages and farms and whatnots without churches, right? My order heads to such places at times each year and offers church services and teaches Sunday school. Think of it as home delivery churching, or something like that. I never knew there were priests like that, but that does make a lot of sense. Unlike church-bound priests, there's a lot of us who are more carefree about dress code. Church just kind of lets us do our thing, so... well, fair enough, I guess. So, Kevin, I guess you're off to some village somewhere? Nah, not immediately. I actually only just arrived in Libero, like, today. High Seat dispatched me here since apparently there's not enough wandering priests around right now. Oh, really? Okay, then. I see. They mentioned that in Sunday school, but I don't remember where... It's in the holy city of Arteria, in the middle of the continent. Anyway, I figured I'd do a bit of sightseeing before I went and reported my assignment to the Bishop of Grancel. And here I am. Seems a bit irresponsible to me. You really are kind of half-baked priest, aren't you? It's cool. I'm checking out the places I'll be wandering to in advance. Besides, I get to meet a troubled and lovely young woman. This is surely a blessing from Ideas. Praise be to her name. Yes, smooth recovery there. But really, thank you. Either way, letting it out helped to clear my head a bit, I think. Seriously, I'm being a ninny. I should trust Joshua. He won't do anything stupid. Huh? Who? Oh, my brother, sort of, in a sense. He disappeared suddenly, which has been a bit of a shock. Disappeared, huh? You mean he ran away from home? No. He just went back home ahead of the rest of us. I mean, he's family. He wouldn't run off on his own. I see. Really, though, what was I thinking? We're supposed to ever telling him how I felt, especially at that moment. Next time I see him, I'll have to make up some kind of excuse about that. Hey, Estelle? Like I was saying, I'm basically just a tourist without a plan or a clue, so how about I land with you in Rolent? Make sure you get home safely. Yeah, he's my boy's brother. Yeah, it's been a minute. Smell that fresh air. This is Rolent, huh? Gotta admit, though, it feels a bit like a backwater farming village with an airship dock dropped on it. Well, excuse the heck out of us for living in the boonies. At least we're big enough to have our own church, Mr. Totally pretending to be a holy man. Oh, I better go pay my respects once we're done. So which one of these fine boonie shacks is yours? Setting the boonie shacks bit aside, you really don't need to escort me home, you know. Just outside town. Crying fits aside, I really am a brazier. I can take care of myself. Nah, don't worry about it. It's the duty of us real manly men to make sure a lady gets home safely. Besides, I'm looking forward to meeting this boyfriend of yours. Boyfriend isn't the term I think I'd use, maybe. But, okay, fair enough, I guess. I'll fix you some tea or something when we get there. Free tea! Victory again! Lead the way. Okay, Kevin is super duper ultra sus. Right now, I'm going to predict he's either with the church's super secret high-level adventurers organization, or he's one of the enforcers, which is what Ouroboros' super high-level, etc. So one of the two. That's my prediction right now. Just getting that on record. Healthy proportions lacking a certain feminine charm. I'll have to give that one 82 points. Please explain to me in detail exactly how I'm 82 points. I want justification for the beatings. Oh, look, it's you, Sistel. You're the same as always, Helen. All the traffic from the Queen's birthday celebrations finally settled down. 82 out of what? Oh, he's totally a legit humble... No, I agree with Blade Duval. He's an adventurer who took the priest class. And he's probably much higher level than he looks. I want to see the royal family's Arce I've been hearing so much about. Doubt I'll ever see it come out Rolent. Yeah. Luke heard what you guys did was really start practicing with this sword. Keep saying he'll absolutely become stronger than you, Estelle. Uh-huh. Sure he will. Beating me here shall be your end. Now I shall show you the results of days of training. It's time for the reckoning. Our duel? Duh. I'm saying I'm the bestest fighter in all of Rolent now. Come on, let's duel. Sure, we'll do that later. Crap, what kind of bracer backs down from a totally awesome challenge like that? You okay, Estelle? You seem kind of... I don't know. No, I'm the same as always. I just need to go do something, that's all. Everything will be fine once I go home and meet Joshua again. And there will be nothing wrong with anything ever again. Still, you're smiling kind of weird. No, I'm not. This is a completely normal, perfectly ordinary human smile. Hello, Estelle. I've missed you brightening up my shop. Been a while, hasn't it? You look well, Mr. Melders. Of course I'm well. I'm not about to lose you to you kids just yet. Freddy's off in Zeiss. No! Stealing all my orbital people. Tactical ornaments. Whew. I wonder what those are and how that's going to change our leveling experience. Interesting. Like I mentioned, one of the only mass bulk goods they sell is lumber. I think I'm being grand sale for all. Well, Joshua came home early, so I'm trying to catch up with him. He did? Yeah. So are you from the church? That's right. That's what happened. I've never seen Estelle this out of sorts. That's a lot of us. Can you stay with her until she's calmed down? Trust me, I'm on top of it. Huh? Yeah, Estelle is very out of sorts. Can't imagine why. What I'm wondering is what's next, right? Like this... She's kind of in mode right now, and that makes sense. Munch, munch, chew, chew, gulp, gulp. Ah. Delicious food. Guy talked like he was drunk before he even touched a glass. Yeah, that's Olivier. The guy didn't seem to know any better and greeted her warmly. He looked like he'd downed Velgar amongst a pack of diamond bells. Poor Olivier. became a full bracer and stopped Alan Richard. You're so cool. Meanwhile, I'm finally allowed full run of the kitchen. Nice. I don't play coy with beams, Racer. You know, I'm talking about the total stud behind you. What happened to Joshua? It's not like that. The grandma was just worried about me being alone, so he came. I mean, oh, she was worried about you being alone, you say? Not like that. I gotta go catch up with Joshua. Joshua! Oh, fine. I'm still on the clock, so come by again. Make sure you bring Joshua, too. Yeah, I have a theory Joshua's not even going to join the party in this game. And I have no idea what's going to happen in the third game. It was a very worthwhile trip, and Cassius rejoined the army. The coup really surprised us all, but in the end, maybe it'll help the kingdom come closer together. Yeah, there's nothing like a good coup to help a kingdom come closer together, right? Like, that's what happened on January 6th, right? As we got a lot closer together. Right, you asked a question, Lunar, that I didn't fully understand it, so I was going to circle back to it. Of course, now it's scrolled off the screen, but it was something about how do I know when to cover an MMO? It's actually really easy. It's when the last content patch goes live, which in our case will probably be 11.2.7 is most likely going to be the patch in question, because that's the format. Good morning, Stormmage Felix. Yeah, we actually already heard this little tidbit before. In the last game, he was going to propose, but then, like, the coup happened. It just gets slotted in the queue wherever. Where exactly games go kind of depends on everything, so I don't have a set method so much as take into account the 30 variables or so and then use it appropriately. However, once 11.2.7 is out, there's a really good chance I'll be running the Hatch Within stream very shortly thereafter. Excuse me. Yeah, fine. Joshua didn't come by to say hi. That's silly. Don't worry, I'll tell him to come visit when I see him. Everything's fine. Damn it, Lucas Hunter! This is the last time. This is the last time I'm talking to an NPC in this entire game. No more! We're done! Pull on the ripcord. I'd love to see Joshua. Is he with you? Sorry for interrupting, but Estelle's in a bit of a hurry. Oh, really? Sorry, I gotta go inside. No, I'll come by again. Bring Joshua next time. Well, What is the speedrun record for SC? Someone look that up for me, please. Okay, I'm leaving. I'm done. That's strange. Was there seriously what I missed? Jesus Christ. This place holds a lot of memories for me, for Dad, for Joshua. You think Joshua's gonna be just inside, right? Yeah, I'm sure he is. Come on, I'll introduce him. He'll like you, I think. Oh my god! 4.5 hours. Man, who is this guy? The number he's done on her. Well, let's get this over with. Ideas give her strength. Joshua, I'm home. You're back, right? That's weird. I'm sure he must be here. Maybe he's in Dad's study. Joshua? Oh, like, duh. He's in my room. Did I leave some underwear or something laying around? Ah, I wouldn't worry about it. My room's clean, at least. Although Josh probably wouldn't care about a few panties here and there. I mean, in real life, it'd probably be skill levels rather than level levels. And that would be my answer to that. Of course, makes sense. I'm such an idiot. So your boyfriend's not here, huh? Oh, maybe we missed him. He came back and then headed out to town for a bit, and we passed each other without realizing. No. You've accepted it then. Really, I knew somewhere deep down. I knew he'd really left. There's no way he'd come back home for any longer than a few moments. But this room was it. This is my last hope. I have no idea where else he could be, at all. So this is the end. I'll never see Joshua again. Ever. Isn't it a bit early to be giving up that easily? In the end, the only one who knows whether we are destined to meet someone again, here or beyond, is Ideas herself. Just because you think fate's against you is no reason to give up. The question then is still is this. What do you think you can do about it? I don't even have any leads to follow. No leads? You sure? I don't know your boyfriend, of course, but nobody I know would disappear without some reason. I noticed she stopped pushing back against the boyfriend thing, by the way. Is there anything weird in how he talked or acted recently? Maybe something strange had happened with him recently. Something only you, who've been with him so long, would pick up on. That's interesting. Did you catch that? Huh. Joshua started acting weird right after I got back to the spot we were resting. Why is my head fuzzy? Why can't I remember who I met on the way? Yep, the portrait and the name of Weissman were both blurred. That's cute. I can't remember who I met on the way. I did meet someone. You okay? You went white as a sheet there. I think so. Oh, I get it. Joshua went off to stop the foul magician. The person I met was that magician. That person was the one actually behind the coup and Colonel Richard's memory trouble. That magician must still be planning something else in the barrel. That means if I could stop him as a bracer. So you've realized what's going on. Blurred his own portrait. That's so Weissman, really. Why are you here? Sorry, Estelle. When we touched down, I took the liberty of contacting the Guild's Grand Cell branch on the sly. Estelle, honey, you scared the pants off of us running away like that. We're at the Grand Cell Guild House trying to find a way to find you when the call came in. See, the irony is I still disagree with you on that, Mook, because they could have used that. Imagine for a moment that we go talk to Alba, right? We save him at the tower. Then he leaves, and then we move on. And like, maybe one of the NPCs is like, who are you talking to us now? And we're like, what do you mean? Like, just have a couple of little signs. That's a bad example, but have a couple of little signs that the characters have no real memory of interacting with Alba. Yeah, like, maybe every time we had talked to him, we reintroduce ourselves because we don't remember the last time we interacted with him. And just leave that there. Don't call attention to it. Just leave it there. New song, by the way. Just as Shara said, I'm glad you're safe, Estelle. Now then, Father Kevin, was it? I appreciate you contacting us. Yo, my deepest thanks for letting us know where Estelle was. Don't worry about it. My fault for butting into family matters, really. Dad, No, Estelle, the one who needs to apologize is me. It was nothing more than my ego talking when I told you to stay away from Ouroboros. I'm simply forcing my opinion as a man and as a father onto you. Sure, I'm the point quite clear on the trip over. I sure did. Don't worry. I'm completely behind you on this. In all honesty, I thought I'd prepared for this day a long while, but losing him was worse than even I could have imagined. Thus, if nothing else, I wanted to keep you from walking the path of thorns which now lies before us. I couldn't bear the thought of you sharing Lena's fate, of losing your life to protect someone else. But that's an insult, not just to you, but to your mother. I understand now, as terrifying as the possibility still seems to me. I will be too busy with the work of rebuilding the military to act on my life. That's exactly why they'll act now. This time I really won't be able to help you. Are you sure this is what you want? I know I've got a lot to learn, but I don't see any other way, so I'll do it. I'll put a stop to whatever horrible thing this Ouroboros has planned. And I'll bring Joshua back home. There's nothing more to say. As a bracer and an independent woman, do as you see fit. Oh, there's one more thing I must say. Estelle, I'm counting on you. Bring back Joshua. Bring back my damn fool of a son, please. Right, piece of cake. So this is actually kind of interesting. Our quest hook for the first game was the Pokemon gyms, right? Our quest hook for the second game is rescuing Joshua from an ancient evil Illuminati organization. Videos work. A little loud. Tanks! Tanks! And Bex. God damn it, Olivier. If he doesn't drop the mask, I swear to God, I'm gonna smack him so hard, he's gonna show up in every game after this one. As a reminder, I've already played one of the Cold Steels. Melker played. And the Cold Steel I know the most about the story of is 4. The prologue. Oh my God. That's just... Yeah, by the way, we're going to be here like a week. Thank you, Trafin. As always. If you'd give me a moment, we'll jot that down. For Mech Warrior 5, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and Mina the Hollower. And then Mr. Floyd Pinkerton. And yes, I did see they're adding that little quality of life feature, and yes, I think that's a good thing. Yeah, we're going to be here a bit. This is the chonky one of the 3. Let's go through its Baldur's Gate 3, Expedition 33, Dragon Age 3, 4. Thank you, both of you. Ugh. 2 months later. Whoa! Whoa there! Whoa! 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 Yeah, suddenly, Dragon Age 2. Look, all I saw was like the villain squad in the intro. That big red airship they keep showing off for these. 2 years later, that would be awful. 2 years later. Oh my God. Um, she's 18. She's an old woman now. She's already got grandkids. Poor ancient dragons that are millennia old. Reminds me of something that happens in No Man's Sky. One of the quest hooks in No Man's Sky has you go hire someone to run your science station. When you do, you start talking about payment. He's like, no, don't worry. Your son, your child paid for my services a few years from now. No, you heard me right. Midwest Zemuria. There I come, Annalise. Lazy. Oh, flame burn 'em! That is pretty hot. Now it's my turn. 8-leaf blitz! Well, I'm not done yet. Can't keep this up. What the? Is you okay? I didn't mean to hit that hard. No, I'm okay. I blocked it, mostly. Ooh, you sure got me good with that one, though. Guess I can't rely on that one move as my win button anymore, huh? It was just luck, really. Besides, I gotta get back a little bit of what I've been taking. You've really been throwing yourself into this stuff. If you got enough energy left for smack talk, let's do one more set. Well, you two certainly have a lot of energy this morning. Phyllis, good morning. Good morning, Phyllis. Good morning, Estelle, Annalise. I was gonna call you two to breakfast, but I suppose you'd rather beat the stuffing out of each other instead of getting stuffed. Breakfast, right. What do you think? Beat stuffing? Get stuffing. Here's a choice, isn't it? We'd be wasting a perfectly good breakfast if we didn't eat, so... You wouldn't happen to know where Kurt is, would you? Kurt said he had to prepare some things for today's training, so he went on ahead. Made it sound like he had some pretty hard things lined up for you today. Come make sure you both ate a good breakfast. Come on, something tells me you'll be wanting it later. I wonder what good breakfast is like. I had a bowl of cereal this morning because I was busy with the car. I'm actually going to be really hungry for lunch because, spoilers, cereal is not enough. I hope it isn't a bad idea to eat this much just before practice, though. I feel this cooking is super extra yummy. Plus, Kurt's got something big planned. I thought we'll get a lunch break. Good point. Need to keep our strength up after all. Already been 3 weeks since I came here. Feels like it's passed on the blink of an eye. You really threw yourself into it. Training with you had done me a lot of good, too. Aw, thanks, Annalise. That means a lot. I gotta admit, though, while I'm glad Kurt agreed to train us, I didn't really expect you to be training with me. I've only been a senior bracer for like half a year. Still really a newbie myself, to be honest. So when Shara told me the whole deal with you and the training and stuff, I thought, hey, perfect. Kurt and the others have mentioned this place before. I want to come anyways. have no intention of stopping you. To be honest, however, you're no match for the society, especially against their deadliest agents. You simply lack the skills. So, would you like to go to Le Locle? Le Locle? Yes, you're pronouncing it incredibly wrong, but it's a training ground run by the Bracer Guild near the international headquarters of the Lehman State. They've got a base, it's a canyon, ruins, investigation techniques, ranger tracking, survival skills, counter-terrorist operations. It's the finest place on the continent for teaching practical Bracer skills. Are there not other continents? I've been wondering that for a while. Everything in each of the games is all very locally focused, which is fine, but like there's not an international. There's no cross ocean stuff. It's just the continent. It's in Lehman, isn't it? So it's outside the country. I don't think I can leave Liberal right now. Well, it's in a foreign country, yes, but it's only 1 day by airship. Training period lasts for about a month, I want to say. And new comes up while you're there. We'll send for you right away. Yeah, they have airships. And ships. And tanks. Is there nothing else? The decision is yours. You need an answer today. Take some time to think it over. No, I've decided. I'll take the training. Excellent. You sound rather determined. I get the feeling you've been thinking about this for some time. Yeah, sort of. To be honest, looking back, I've just been relying on Joshua the whole time. Whenever something happened, he would always guide me the answer. Now I have to rely on my own judgment. So yes, I want to retrain myself at this Le Locle. Local? I don't. It is a fantasy world. They could be on the back of a frickin' penguin for all I know. Which is on the back of another penguin. Which is on the back of 2 other penguins. Oh, that's right, we have to get a senior bracer present, and we need to get some new on-the-job clothes. Don't do it, push-ups. Don't do it! Speaking of, when does Horizons come out in the West? Since they've obviously got, like, their localizers working on the remake, I'm guessing that was delayed. January. Okay. I don't know if color's this girly or really, but I think. You kidding? You look way better. Better than that old red outfit of yours. Remember, we may be bracers, but girls, too. Fashion is important. Because we're bracers, we have to look great. It's our duty. I mean, yeah, I'd rather they take their time than have another second chapter situation, right? You should get a hair ribbon. No, thank you. You're kind of a fan of cute things, aren't you, Annalise? Heck yeah, cuteness is justice. It's the law. Oh, they actually have different localizers at this point. They must be doing really well financially if they could afford to do that kind of simultaneous release thing. Which is good. It means Falcom's doing well. Those bikinis are really selling, apparently. There's nothing, not a thing that can beat up a young girl who's dressed up cute. And whenever I see a teddy bear or a stuffed animal, I'm gonna hug it to death. But she'll never meet Tita. It's fine. You've got steel in your soul. Aw, cut out with the flattery. I'm getting embarrassed. I mean it. Besides, you make me want to work harder. Shouldn't we be getting to practice soon? Yeah, it's about time, I guess. Oh, wow. I thought they'd sped up their localization process. Like, that's a, what is that, 15 months? I mean, yes, anything is faster than 9 years. Still not ornaments. I noticed it's still grayed out on the menu, too. So it's our last day of training. Where have I heard that before? I mean, I guess it wouldn't take a long time to localize, just, again, based on the body of work. Never mind the actual localization and QA testing and blah, blah, blah. And everything I mentioned earlier. She has a stuffed bunny and a stuffed bear. No, excuse me, 3 stuffed bears in her room. Gosh, Annalise. Meanwhile, we have 3 pairs of shoes. Of course we do. Yep, the Stragas. Oh, she already equipped it all. New portrait. I think her hair's gotten longer, too. I want you to cover Ruins Exploration. We'll head into the Balstar Channel, west of the Loch. A strange name, but it's another training facility, right? Yes, it's an old aqueduct for the Middle Ages, the guild repurposed. Sorry. Yes, I know, Rasalisu. I spent like 10 minutes talking about that at the beginning of the run. Thank you for sharing. So let's go have our sewer level. Let's get that out of the way. Uh-oh, it's our new orbments. It's a combat orbment, but it's all weird. Yep, this is the new model. You know, of course, the Eps. Can we rename that? Let's see. What should we call that? We can just call it the Bob Foundation. How about, yeah, you know what? Bob. You know, of course, the Bob Foundation, which develops combat orbments among many other orbital technologies. There's a new kind of combat orbment developed by the Foundation and supplied to the field mere weeks ago. As you can see, they have additional slot. By the way, where's the Epstein files? As you can see, they have an additional slot compared to the previous orbments for a total of 7. As a result, this should allow for the utilization of more powerful combat arts. Oh, we get more of the kit? What? Don't be stingy, Kurt. Make with the goodies. If you wish, the guild will provide you each one for free. However, there is, as you might expect, a catch. Oh my god. So, okay. For those of you not aware, the name Hitler wasn't a common name, but it wasn't like a super unknown name. It didn't have any significance. It was just a name, right? One moment. Yep. But that name was tainted by one particular jackass, right? So imagine for a moment, there's a long-standing franchise. Obviously, this is the like the 30s, but imagine there's a long-standing franchise where there's a major character who's significant to the lore, whose name is Hitler. And then that happens. That's like, well, shoot. Now what? Stick to your guns. His name's Hitler. We're just gonna live with it. Bob Hitler. Manfred Hitler. That's his name now. We're crossing genres here. The circuitry, really? Jesus Christ, Lord, the circuit architecture within these orbits is radically different from your current orbits. As a result, your old quartz clusters are not compatible. No, the excuse we all knew was coming. No. You'll need to obtain new revised quartz. That means all the quartz we've had up until now is completely worthless. Again. Where's my fainting couch? It'll be a hassle, but you need to rebuild your quartz collection from scratch if you use those. No! We keep using our current orbits? You could, but I don't recommend it. Besides, we don't have any of the saved data from your previous quartz written down. Maximum EP potential is higher. New high-end quartz can adapt and have impressive capabilities. In the long term, they'll grant you new physical abilities. Oh, there's upgrades now. Oh, Jesus. Okay. What's going to happen in the third game? Don't tell me. I don't want to know. We'll get there. In like a week or two. You recall our good friend, Lieutenant Lawrence. Actually, what is that? So your prediction is going to take us about a week and 2 days. Okay. I'm not going to race. I'm just going to keep an eye on that. I think I can forget him if I wanted to. Shira told me about a certain bizarre art he used against you. Terrifying attack that lashed out your entire team and clouded your minds. As it happens, this orbit can manifest an art exactly like that with the correct quartz combination. It's been dubbed the Silver Thorn. The Silver Thorn. Wait, hang on a sec. Wouldn't that mean the red uniform bozo had one of these new orbits 2 months ago? Yep. For now, I must know. Will you accept the new orbits? I have no choice. Literally, it's not even a dialogue option. It's just yes. Idly, I looked up a list of who the strongest people were in the setting. Obviously, people disagree on the specifics. And if I'm being honest, I didn't recognize several of the names in the list, which is fine. I was mostly curious where Cassius sits on that list compared to where people think. He was pretty far down on most of those lists, like at the 13, 14 range. Oh man, I love stuff changing randomly. Yeah, there was... Oh god, I don't know how to pronounce any of it. It was like Iron Hodder was up there, someone named Ein was up there, someone named McBurn was at the top of everyone's list. Let's see... Who else is on that? I can't remember. Someone named Leonhardt, I think. Yeah, everyone agrees McBurn, whoever it is like absolute top. Nobody disagreed on that. It was weird. Probably Dakota. Because, yeah, if Cassius is that far low, that far down, yikes. One Phoenix down. Thanks, buddy. That's the big, amazing reward you have for me. I mean, I guess that's true. There are lots and lots and lots of characters. Which makes it even weirder that this big burn person is that high up. So upgrading a slot increases your mana. Couple more spells than last time. Adolfo. Well, of course Adolfo's a big name. We all know that the Nazis secretly fled to Argentina, right? What did I say? Joshua was the Cloud Strife of the game? No, more like a Fei Long Wong. I see White Gehenna is still at the bottom of that list. Oh, nope, I'm wrong. It just spilled over to the next page. Abyss Fall. Oh. Looks like we go up to 4s now. 4s contain 8. That's crazy. I do still kind of wish I had some of my old things. Like Cloak would be nice. Let's see around on Earth. Yeah, no, I saw Zodiac there. Right. Let's see. Oh yeah, combat food, I guess, is a thing. I'll figure that out. Gladiator belt is B rank. We'll see how we manage that. Yeah, everyone says that, Lucas. I don't even know what it means. I mean, we'll find out, I suppose, but... So same basic cost to upgrade as it was the cost to unlock. No real shocks there. Well, we're doing this completely blind, right? So let's... What? Hurry! Whoosh! Sorry, I was trying to think about what would be. Anyways, so... It gives me enough for one of everything, doesn't it? Almost. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna pretend we've never played these games before. Play this normally and see what happens. Oh man, beef curry. I just need to conquer the world so I can have Bregman's cooking. Not for any other reason, not for fixing society or helping people or... No. Just Bregman's cooking. Yeah, having all the slots open in the beginning really reduces some of that early Sepith strain, which was part of the capital P problem I mentioned earlier. Honestly, at a certain point, the Sepith problem diminishes a lot, especially when you get access to shiny bombs. But in early game, oh... Okay. You can throw this stuff in a pot to cook up a meal. What are we, British? As far as how much of that spending is the actual spending that they spend, I'd say at least 40%, right? Maybe higher. Oh, that sucks, Easel. I don't even know if I can cheat in this game. I had to jump through some interesting hoops to cheat in the first game. Wow, that just is a Phoenix down. It's a nice Phoenix down, too. Oh yeah, news. Right. Hang on. Hang on. Let me pull that up. Here we go. Issue 1. I think. Yes. There are, of course, more issues this time around. Oh, God, I really hate fandom. I'm sorry to just bash that point, but god damn it, people. So much of the real estate of the page is not the actual article. Here's some ads you could look at. Here's some recent stuff you could look at. Here's more ads. Here's more ads, and here's more ads. I know those spaces are all ads because they're blank, and I have an ad blocker. So half my screen is blank. Anyways, 2 months since the coup d'etat. It's been 2 months since the stunning fall of the Royal Army's once promising intelligence division and their failed coup d'etat. Currently, in response to their failure to prevent the rebellion by one of their own divisions, the army is undergoing a major reconstruction of their internal organization. To find out how they intend to regain the trust of the public, we got behind the scenes to look at their reconstruction efforts. That's true, it could be worse. There could be ads there. Under the command of General Morgan, who was apparently voiced by Richard Epcar, by the way, which is a hilarious sub... If I just talk about that for a second. For those of you not aware, I don't know if whoever's localizing these games knows this, but there's actually a pretty long-standing thing where if you want to hint that a character is a villain, you have them voiced by Richard Epcar. This is not a joke. There are games that have actually used that as foreshadowing, that a character is voiced by Richard Epcar is the hint that he's a bad guy. So they had General Morgan voiced by him, which is a nice little subversion, because he sure seems like he's going to be a bad guy. Anyways. Yeah, exactly, Mook. It's like, oh, okay. Because you get it, right? Like, he certainly seems like he is actually going to be a bad guy for quite a bit. Anyways. Where was I? Under the command of General Morgan, the reformation of the Royal Army units have been proceeding swiftly. However, even our decorated general acknowledges that the rebuilding of the chain of command will take some time. The cause we're told from army sources that the ID's unit's reach has permeated all levels of command, and removing that influence has proved to be quite the task. The Royal Army is determined to continue reforming whatever difficulties may arise. One such issue they lack is transparency. For national defense reasons, the organization of the military has been heavily guarded, but it was this very policy that allowed the ID to get as far as they did. One effort to blow fresh air into the rigid army structure is the recent cooperation with the Bracers Guild. How much further the Royal Army can open up and still maintain secrecy needed for security is probably the biggest hurdle faced in the rebuilding of the army. Actually, yeah, Kennex count. Exact same twist there. According to reports from the Foreign Affairs section, the Erebonian Empire, Calvard Republic, and Liberal Kingdom have agreed to enter a treaty of non-aggression. Preparations are already underway to host the signing of the pact following the Royal Parliament's approval of the terms proposed by Queen Alicia. Will this pact be the guiding light to peace? Peace through power. Unless you're the Federation, in which case it's peace through paper. Peace through paper. A change at the top of the army ranks seems in the air as Chief of Staff General Morgan indicated at a recent meeting that he would yield the reconstruction of the army to someone else. Signs also indicate he will resign from the top post entirely once the army reorganization is complete. Eyes are on Cassius Bright, the general's right-hand man, to take up the reins, while keeping a close eye on any further developments. Peace through pad! Okay. I actually don't know much about Richard Epcar off camera. But yeah, almost every actor who plays villains consistently tends to be a legit person in real life. I don't know why. That's just a commonality. That's an old thing, too. That goes back decades. Generally speaking, the people you tend to see who are not very pleasant people in real life don't. They usually play protagonists, main characters, stuff like that. But yeah, then you'll have Christopher Lee, who's an awesome freaking dude. Was an awesome freaking dude. And he made an entire career out of being the bad guy. Yeah, Clancy Brown, Mark Hamill. Oh gosh, I can't think of his name now. Peter Cushing. Ian McDiarmid is actually another good example. Yeah, the guy who played Joffrey. Oh, I feel bad for that kid. He's a really cool dude, by all accounts. And he played Joffrey. Yikes. I noticed there's more doodads, actually. We'll see if this lasts. Keanu Reeves is a rare exception. What? What? Okay. These sewers are technically smaller than the ones beneath Grand Cell. Your practice mission today is to retrieve confidential documents. It's more to get you in the mood for anything. Regardless, the documents are the deepest section of the sewers. Wait, we're going into the sewers to retrieve a fake item in order to do our tutorial dungeon. I feel like I've heard that somewhere before. In every RPG ever. And I'm guessing that Annalise is now actually, you know, joining our party, which is honestly not something I called, but whatever. I know that the cast of this franchise gets absolutely ludicrously huge. Okay. I don't know. I mean, she could voice whoever's Acta, but I'm not sure if I can see her as Miss Gray. Look, I'd rather have this sewers than the other one, you know? Sure, we'll do the tutorial, just to see how badly it does. New combat. Okay. Jesus Christ! That, I know that was a big hit, but that's double the damage I was doing with my best arts in the last game.
Oh yeah!
Right. This one? Nope. It's weird because so much of this is just the same thing as the last game, which is fine. That's why there's some positive negatives already jotted down. Yes, I did, Maze. Which is why I'm lower level than she is here. Let's see what happens. Literally nothing. Yeah, and yeah, there's a straight-up skip tutorial option, which is always a good sign. I mean, Kevin Spacey Stormers Felix. Or, you know what, I'm gonna stop there. No. This is a review, of course I didn't skip the tutorial. He was cool, Pintriox. Oh, speaking of rendering errors. Actually, so funny story, I obviously did tech tests to make sure the game was up and running and functional. And then this morning I fired up the game. And the game was... It launched. And it was about this big. Up in the corner there of the window. Now I have pretty decent eyesight. But I don't think I can manage that. Yeah, it's actually... I'm kind of being facetious. The first game had the exact same issue periodically. Speaking of which, jot that down here. Let's just do this. So I need to test the escape rate. Don't let me forget to do that. Minimap stays the same. Fast forward stays the same. Retry stays the same. Visibility stays the same. Cooking we'll look at. HUD is still good. Initiative is still good. Best rate is still good. Encyclopedia is still good. It's a mobile game. Sorry, that's right. I noticed chains were in the remake, by the way. I was actually curious about that when we were looking at that footage yesterday. I mean, yeah, I mean, the remake doesn't even have, like... I mean, it has a turn-based mode, but... it has the full thing going on instead of this approach. I almost get Castlevania vibes from this music. That's what I thought. To put this into perspective. No, we haven't heard the new boss theme yet. We might not in the tutorial dungeon. Turn this down a little bit. Why is it not? Oh, here we go. No, that was it.
I am invincible! Or am I?
Don't forget to not do the Biodome, Mr. Red. Just skip those entirely. I know they're labeled as MSQ. They are lying to you. Don't do them. Yeah, just do not do those quests at all. So I want you to imagine, it's going to get a bunch of negatives when we review them. I want you to imagine for a moment that... You remember, like, BC-era dailies? Imagine that, but that's your MSQ. But hang on, it's actually worse than that. Because they're the same dailies. Like, there's several different types of dailies. Feed thing, take picture of thing, fish and thing, etc., etc. However, you have to do them for each animal type. So, you end up doing the same daily, or bundle of dailies, multiple times. Ooh. I can't turn the music back on now. Just for you.
Here I go! You're done!
You should trust Alatas. She is, after all, being completely honest with you. And only you. Okay, there's some real music. Finally, God. I'm kidding. I'll turn the music on after this, I swear. Don't worry. Midnight has the highest chance to suck. For sale, reviving bulb, never used. That's a good thing, isn't it? Has the highest chance to suck of the immediacy.
We're good to go.
So that's cool. Yeah, nobody cares about Mr. Quest. Get out of here, get out of here. Except me, obviously. Well, Midnight is the very, very, very first expansion that is completely free of all of the baggage of the previous eras of Blizzard. I mean, completely free of it. Even War Within still had plotline ideas, story arcs, some visuals. Basically stuff that was left over from the previous team, the Shadowlands team. Because that's how development works. Midnight is just the new team, the modern WoW team. It's nothing that's just nothing. No, shoot, shoot! Oh, sure, just take it. My name's Sven, by the way. Even asking my name never crossed your mind, did it? Open the chest to the familiar sight of nothing. Oh, how you've missed this. Correct, Mook. Metzen is once again the mainliner for WoW, to put it simply. And he technically has been for a while, but again, that's not how production cycles work. He was brought in mid-Dragonflight, by which point... 500, geez. By which point they had already done a decent amount of work on War Within. Like I said, Midnight is the first, no former baggage left over team. Yeah, I was just thinking that easily games. This is the first time I've seen level design in this franchise.
Or am I?
Not counting Cold Steel, obviously. I'm not sure if it's good level design, but it is level design. Oh, there's nothing here. Boring. A small spider skitters from one side of the empty chest to the other. It's actually kind of cute. Smash, smash, smash! Okay, this is what your curiosity gets you. Nothing! Yeah, exactly, Mulper. Yeah, they did, Easel. I haven't used a couple. Not many, I'm not gonna lie, but a couple.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
Yeah. The main reason I beat What's-His-Face was with a, that wasn't a quartz, no, that was with the attack debuff. Opening me again? How naughty. I would never open your chest, man. Yeah, I'm gonna want to test that when I actually get access to another party member.
Oh yeah!
And you really like reading these messages, don't you? Look! Don't shame me. That's what I thought. Yeah, most of the engine issues I had with the first game, I noticed are still here, and that's probably going to persist until we get to, I guess, Crossbow. Because third's still the same engine, right? Three is still the same engine.
Piece of cake! We're good to go!
Well, so far we've gained 2 levels in the tutorial dungeon, which isn't shabby. I've been paying more attention to the Sepith and Mira gain, but honestly I can't properly gauge that until we get to town for the next time. Hang on. FC, SC, and TC. Yeah, screw me. I mentioned this last time. Levels didn't do much in the first game, relatively speaking. It was more worthwhile to farm other things than it was to farm experience. Whoa, okay. Apparently, you can actually get Sepith out of chests now. What recipe? The chest opens with a groan because it's tired of being opened over and over. Sorry, dude. God. Yeah, that's just stuff I'm keeping in the back of my mind right now. Is it one of those things where they were just kind of falling through on brand recognition? Yes, Diligent Dodo, that is correct. You open the chest and see riches beyond your wildest imagination. As you take your first step in your victory dance, you awaken. It was just a dream. I'm actually kind of glad I never did the money exploit in the first game, so I could really explore how awful the money drops were in that game. Treasure chest advertising for the low price of $900 a month? Screw you. What do I look like? I'm made of money?
Piece of cake. I am invincible.
Can't escape ads. They don't generate any money whatsoever, but you can't escape them. Yeah, I think it's just a rendering bug. Might even be related to the resolution, since there's so many other resolution-related rendering bugs. In fact, one of the reasons we're in 16:9 now, first of all, is because the game doesn't like being in 4:3, but second of all, because I figured maybe that would fix some of the res issues we were having. Instead of something more native, you know? We shall see. Alright, so I'm thinking 36 negatives for chest ad. Right now I'm in 1080, basic resolution. It's about as vanilla of a resolution as it gets nowadays. I could go down to 720, but honestly, I don't like to strain my eyes that much, especially for a game where I'm going to be reading a lot. I mean, you saw during the first game when we had the sensor or whatever, the eagle eye, I think it was. No, it was the thing that led us to see the dots on the mini map and the map, and that was completely broken the entire playthrough of FC. Like there were just dots over there off the map. Heaven's Eye, that was it. Because yeah, eagle. Well, maybe it was eagle's eye. I don't know. There's some kind of eye. There was eyeing involved. 1 second, please. Yeah, then there's haze. So let's look at... Oh, gotcha. Now that would be nice, Lucas. I don't think that was in the first game. There it is. Okay. Sorry. Checking my own notes. You know how it is. We are, in fact, in the sewers. But now, it's time to face the ultimate challenge. the entrance. How'd you get here before us? To tell you the truth, there are a few secret passages through the channel. Well, you worked your way down the main path. I simply came here directly. Man, no, the hard work we put in beating this monster and stuff feels like a waste. Thanks, Kurt. Anyway, busy work aside, isn't this as deep as the sewers go? This is the end of the line, right? Quite so. Your point? The confidential documents. Oh man, I knew it. I knew it. Afraid my role in this exercise is that of an armed foreign infiltrator, here to steal the documents. As we have the same goal, my only option is to remove you by force. Here's our boss song. I like it already better. Wait, really, Isel? Okay, whatever. Well, let's treat this seriously.
By my art, become hard as steel.
It does sound Mega Man-y. Mega Man XE specifically. That would be insane, Mr. Red. Possible. But insane. Good morning, Walker. I sincerely doubt that Midnight will suck. The odds of that are hey, Kevin's Eye! The odds of that are incredibly low. Well done, clean victory. Might hard to say otherwise, but we did. So you expect from the artful tactician. 2-on-1 and we barely won. Yeah, the boss gave a nice chunk of Sepith, too. With the infinite jump neutralized, the documents recovered. Mission complete. Okay, so training for day is over, right? Oh, hardly. After a brief lunch at the end, we'll be heading to the St. Croix Forest to the south. We'll engage in bonus training. Think of it as a chance to make up for any mistakes you made here. Could be worse, Mook. Could be a human expansion. Can you imagine? Ugh. That concludes today's training. You did well, you two. You must be tired, I imagine. Trolls have been in every expansion, including vanilla. Hell, they were awesome in BFA. Feels like the legs are going to fall off. That was the hardest thing we've done here. Still need to work on your endurance a bit, perhaps. Be sure to get some rest this evening. You have quite a day tomorrow. See you in a bit, Kurt. I don't know, do you count the dark trolls, Mr. Red? Because if so... It's like hardball played with boulders. I feel like that's almost it for training here at the Localization, though. Sure feels like it. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy to be done, but it makes me feel sad at the same time, you know? Erlo is amazing, too. Really is strong, isn't he? Dark Trolls are the original trolls, Mr. Red. They're the ones that turned into Night Elves. He took us both on at once. I got the feeling he could have kept going. Yeah, he probably could throw us around like spears. He's got that Artful Tactician title because he's the second best bracer in the barrel. Best is your dad, of course. Oh, I see. Speaking of, I think Shira mentioned this to you once, but there's 7 ranks, G to A. Rank F. I'm rank F currently because I've only been senior for half a year. But Kurt's a B. Pretty much an A, even. He's getting promoted real soon. Wow, rank A. They put him on the same level as Zin. Although there's a certain someone out there who could take not only Kurt down, but steal his memory. I really have a chance against someone like that? Estelle? What's wrong? You look so serious all of a sudden. Oh, sorry, I was just spacing out for a second, I guess. Spacing out, huh? Spacing out to Joshua, right? You could say that, I guess. I kind of figured. I haven't wanted to pry or anything, but Shira did tell me a little bit about what happened. He must be worried sick. I hope he's okay. Yeah, I'm not too worried. Joshua's a lost boy who ran away from home because of a misunderstanding. I'll bring him back. Even if I have to tie a leash to his neck and walk him home. Okay, I wasn't going to make a joke about that, but then Annalise says, that's the spirit. I'd pay good Mira to see that, too. Keep that up, and you will find Joshua. Alright. So, I swear this is unrelated to the comment earlier. The dialogue is noticeably better localized. Anyone noticing that? I actually made a comment back in the first game about how there were a couple of scenes. In fact, I can name all of them. There were 3 scenes in the first game which are just way better written than every other scene of the game. And it was weird because honestly, the overwhelming majority of the dialogue in the first game was fine. It was serviceable. It was functional. Right? It's the FF8 thing all over again. There was nothing wrong with it, but there was nothing good about it either. It was simply there. I have already noticed quite a bit of surprisingly much better written dialogue here, like better usage of pronunciation, or sorry, no, punctuation, better usage of punctuation, better usage of sentence structure, better usage of vocabulary to distinguish between characters and tone, as well as to convey a little bit of extra nuance in what the characters are saying and thinking. Hi, Goki. And that's already, like, I have already noticed the dialogue is just better. This is especially true because if you remember, one of the things I commented on when we were watching the video footage of the remake was that the dialogue was noticeably unchanged from the original, which, as we described, makes sense, but it made it sound even more awkward when spoken out loud because it was clearly never designed to be part of spoken word. So, cool. I give it my super shiny senior bracer guarantee. Thanks, anyways. But didn't we just finish talking about how you aren't really that old or senior yet? What? You meanie face. You're saying it like I'm a kid, aren't you? No, that's not what I meant at all. And I'm like 2 years older than you, too. Oh, she's ancient. She's 18. To be honest, I'd much rather be your friend than your superior. So we're friends forever, right? Yeah, you bet. Okay, then. Time to scoot off to bed and rest for tomorrow. You seem kind of bushed, Estelle. You want to skip tomorrow's morning practice? Oh, that's okay. No matter how tired I get, a good night's sleep always seems to charge me right back up. As long as you're up for it, I'm good. Sweet. We'll do some more stuffing beating tomorrow morning. Okay. For now, though, good night. Good night, Annalise. I guess I'm partially shocked because knowing what happened behind the scenes, honestly, I would figure this game would be localized, frankly, like FF7, you know? A localization, or Xenogears, to use the exact same parallel. A localization that just kind of starts off bad and gets worse over time. Hang on, we do get a lot of Sepith during training today. Building a new set of chords sounds like a good idea. Maybe I should bug Robert before I go to bed. Hang on, gotta do the traditional Estelle movements here. Yep. Is that a Heaven's Eye quartz? I'll be damned. That's pretty high grade quartz. You need to upgrade a slot to use it. Really? Do I? Are you lying to me? Ah, there it is. I was looking for the indicator. It's the tiny little yellow thing next to it. Yeah, as usual, we're running dry on something. Come on. So, Heaven's Eye combines the effects of Eagle Eye and information. Gosh, if only like 3 people had told me that in chat like 5 minutes ago. I'm not sure where the gospel is right now, actually. Oh yeah, hang on. Let's see if we can make that bug happen. Oh, that was a weird bug. That's a new bug. Yep, bug still exists. Actually, while we're here. Just getting a little bit of everything to make sure I have at least a little bit of everything. Strength 500. Jesus Christ. Unfortunately, I cannot purchase savory pinions or prickly seeds. Can I buy fresh herbs? Ah, I was looking in reverse. There's a little icon over there on the left now. So let's do... Oh. Give me a sec. Yeah, and now we have 10 Phoenix Downs Pretty much right at the beginning of the game. Well, 13, but still. Not too shabby for literally having just done the tutorial dungeon. Slumber. And the entire place is on fire. Lol. Okay, I was kidding, game. Don't care. Slumber! No, I'll get him. I'll get him. Annalise! Estelle! Wait, think ideas. Come, grab your gear. Is it really gunfire? Yeah, we're under attack by somebody. I don't know. Kurt's trying to fire him off. Don't care. Slumber! I almost picked it. I probably would have lost BP. Should hold him off for a moment. You alright? It's okay, I've just been shot. It's nothing, just a scratch. Far more important that we put an end to this intrusion. Kurt, are you okay? You're injured. Forgive me, I let my guard down. So you can see the lodge that are attacked by a group of armed men. 3. Wow. They hurt you, Kurt. Who the heck are these guys? It's okay, they've got guns. I would suggest they're Jaegers. Oh, great. And the elite crazy mercenaries heard about in Grancel? Why would they be attacking here? Outside of Liberal, the Guild and Jaegers are dire enemies. It's not out of the question they would dare attack us here, though it would be oddly brazen even for them. Given that, though, this could very well be the behest of the Society. Yeah, we really don't have time for this. So this is our first time really seeing a Jaeger. I've been wondering when they would show up. They were mentioned a lot back in the first game.
Guys, come on!
Yeah, I'm sensing a musical shift in tone. And I'm down. Yeah, no kidding, Malcolm. Actually, one of the few things I do remember about that game. That and Weirdo Lady. Jaeger, not Geiger. Yes, diligent. I do like the new indicators, by the way. I complained last game about this a little bit, but I didn't actually give it a negative. Sometimes the HUD on the left wasn't super duper clear, especially because some of their portraits look very similar to each other. Now there's the icons. Yellow is where we are, blue is where we will be after we take this action. So for example, if I do this, I'll be there, see? I'm just going to build CP on these people. There's actually a reason to build CP, holy crap.
Oh yeah!
Much to win, somehow. Okay, whoever, drop the weapon and surrender. You brats are better than I thought. Still not good enough, though. Smoke bomb. Teehee, 99 little kittens. A knockout smoke bomb, apparently. Yep, so anyways, the third game, right? Whoa, everyone said the second game was the long one. If that's the long one, how short is the third game? Jesus. Although, in fairness, I would have beaten Ninja Gaiden like 4 times right now. with the amount of time we put in this game. Oh, I could have beaten Mega Man 2 like 8 times. Stuffed bunny and a stuffed bear. Oh, which to pick? Can I take them all, Grandpa? What the heck? Annalise, wake up. This is not the time. Yeah, we wake up in hell. Oh, gosh darn it. It's time to God of War this. Alright, time for morning practice. No, it is not time for morning practice. Wake up already. Get it together. Stuff. What's going on? This is my bedroom. The attack was just a bad nightmare, right? Right? Boy, don't I wish. If we both remember it, though, I counted it out as a dream. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. Could you imagine having a shared dream? Well, let's ignore that we just had a shared dream and not talk about it again until the next time it happens. Yes, I'm giving that a negative when we get there. Hey! Yeah, let's go over what we know. Get our bearings. Last night, a group of men who looked a bit like Jaegers attacked the lodge. Kurt was wounded right after we arrived. The enemy jumped through the window. Right after that, it was lights out for me. How did we end up here? Good question. That is kind of quite weird. Actually, what she said is good question. Which is, again, that dialogue thing I mentioned earlier. Looks like they left most of our stuff on us, but yeah, all my new combat gear is missing. Man. Oh, yeah, mine too. These were probably brought here by... the Jaegers? Why didn't they tie us up or stab us or something? Left us in the open. I'll shock us. I'm sorry, I guess something happened. They had to quickly retreat, leaving us behind. Yeah, that's pretty believable. Stick around, I was asking to get our heads cut off. So you still have that map? Yeah. There's St. Croix Forest, where we were training last night. I'm guessing that's where we are now. So our first goal should be getting forced back to the lodge. Kurt's dead! It's okay, nobody dies in this series. Jaeger tent. Tent's in good shape. We can probably nap here if we need to rest. So there's our recovery spot. Yep, I'm sure glad I bothered to... Oh, okay. We did lose our armor and weapons, and not our accessories. I'm gonna go with no, Blade to all. Obviously, because I already didn't give it a negative, so I suppose that's an obvious answer then. Yeah, damage is about halved, by the way.
Oh yeah!
Really? Cats! Alright, cat. Honestly, I think it's just because Cassius has consistently portrayed himself as a doofus and a moron. And Joshua has shown consistent effort in trying to be a better person, so... Ooh, okay. Let me put it in a slightly different terminology. It's very likely that what actually happened... Of course, the thorn bushes are weak to fire. It's very likely what actually happened was he took him in, and then kept an extremely close eye on him for probably quite a while. And when it became more and more clear that he was actually doing his best to actually try and actually redeem himself, he gave him the shot to do so. Because if there's one thing that this game, this whole franchise, is really, really big on, it's redemption. So, thematically relevant, can make sense in character, and lines up with the events that we saw in action. Yeah, continuity, obviously, Pinfix. Hello, Cat. I noticed the numbers on some of these have been tweaked, which makes sense. Not only are we higher level, but, you know, slightly more precise itemization. Hey, Sarah Cookie. I actually don't know what level you're supposed to start at. We started at 36 because I was level 36. Interesting. I mean, she's Annalise started at 40, so I actually assumed I was starting at lower level because I wasn't level 40 in the first game.
Piece of cake.
I mean, that is something we were all theorizing FF7R2 would do. So, whatever they actually did.
Oh yeah!
I think this could be our equipment. It looks like it. The rest of our stuff is hidden around. Cool. I'd like to avoid fighting our monsters, but we need to find our stuff. Psychically sensing there's nothing inside, you walk away from the chest without disturbing it. Hi, Elizar. We might finish this game before October. Just to answer the question you didn't actually ask there.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, just this game. Not the whole franchise. There's no way in hell we're gonna finish Trails 3 before October.
I'm invincible!
No, Elizar. Took me a second to understand what you're asking, but still no. I know, cat. I'll destroy the cat later. Just for you, okay? Okay. Yeah, I sat down and did a rough estimate of how long it would take for all of the games, and it was about the same length as the WoW run. The entire WoW run.
We're good to go!
Nope, she uses a sword on Fall this time. The other one uses a bow. I kind of miss the mini-map, not gonna lie. Realistically speaking, that will only happen one more time. With the Cold Steel block. The good news? It's voice acted.
Oh yeah!
So I can just kind of sit back and let it play. I mean, why do you think the Cold Steel games are so long? I mean, if we're starting with just War Within, I'd say War Within is the best expansion they've ever had. Although, in fairness, it doesn't have much competition. No, CP caps at 200, as you can see there. Speaking of. Yeah, it's just one thing left now. I'll do the next fight.
I am invincible!
Both, Sorokiki. 100% both. I am firm in my opinion. This is a recently developed, as of this year, a recently developed opinion. Hey, fine. Use a spell then. God, I don't care. Thing. Recently developed opinion as of this year that modern WoW absolutely destroys all of older WoW. Just crushes it like a bug in terms of quality. So yeah, gameplay and story, 100%.
Piece of cake!
They attacked me, Melkor. Well, then they deserve to die. Cats have been reclassified by the FBI as terrorists. Ain't that the truth, though? I mentioned this as an anecdote when I was going through it. But when Pandaria Classic hit, me and my friend actually went through the Pandaria Classic stuff, specifically to get, the chest is empty now. So empty. So lonely. Please don't go. We did the Pandaria Classic thing in order to level some Pandarans in order to get access to a mount. Cool. We hated it. We hated it so much. And that's Pandaria. Like, well past the quality of life era of WoW. Like, it's bizarre. Bizarre is probably the wrong word. It's shocking how much you get used to all the quality of life features and the general gameplay smoothness and enjoyability that modern WoW has compared to, you know, even something like Pandaria, which is overall pretty solid. They did, Sour Cookie. And they've actually expanded it. They're also... They're also baking several other add-ons into base functionality. Listen, they had to die, Melkor. They didn't. That sucks. Well, we'll try it. I mean, it's not gonna work. At least we get killed one. Yeah, that's about what I would have expected.
Piece of cake.
I'll take it. That was not a lot of Sepith for a shiny palm. That's interesting. Ton of experience, not a lot of Sepith. One of the reasons shiny palms were, in my opinion, mandatory, to the point where I considered it a negative to gameplay, was specifically the fact that they gave so much Sepith. Like, literally dozens of times more Sepith than another entire encounter game. So yeah, I'm guessing there's some Sepith rebalancing going on here. No, Sepith is a currency that you use to upgrade your magic slots, your materia slots, and to purchase new magic materia. It was, I don't want to say mandatory. No, I'm comfortable with that. It was mandatory in the first game. It was functionally more important than levels in the first game. So half the time I would spend more time trying to farm Sepith than I would farming experience. And I did most of that off camera to spare you from the boredom of it. That is a good question, Triaxia. Why did you have to come back? You could have just walked away with the goods, but now the treasure chest has you right where it wants you. I'm not just white damage, I'm trying to get some CP back up. After I blew everything on those shining bombs. Oh yeah, no, way too early. Like, okay. There is such a thing as early game hell. And actually, if I could be honest, the early game economy is arguably as important as the entire game's economy. So we can absolutely judge the early game economy. But that is a separate distinction from judging the game's economy, if I'm being clear about that. Like, I'm sure at least every single one of you in chat has played at least one RPG where the early game economy sucks. I can actually name an example off the top of my head. Secret of the Stars. Secret of the Stars, yeah, actually FF1 is another good example of that, but Secret of the Stars is probably the textbook example of how not to do this. Check this out. I don't remember all the steps of this by memory, but just bear with me. So, you start the game, you have your tutorial area, and it's whatever, and you beat your first boss, then you go down to the world below. Once you're in the world below, none of the vendors in the first town will talk to you. None of the vendors in the second town are capable of talking to you. So you don't really have a good recovery spot, you don't have the ability to purchase items, and you don't have the ability to purchase gear. On top of that, all of the enemies in these sections are way overtuned, hit you entirely too hard, and do not give a large amount of experience and or money in return. And even if they did give you money, it wouldn't matter because you have nowhere to spend it. You have to rewind 2 separate towns to find a save point. Secret of the Stars early game is textbook terrible early game hell. You have to beat the second dungeon to gain access to a town. Yes, that was the dog pill. We needed to go do the second dungeon, fight the boss of the second dungeon, get the dog pill to recover the NPC so we had access to vendors and an inn. It was terrible. I know I'm underselling it, but God, there's a reason that game is at the bottom. Still holds its slot as the king of terrible games. Oh, dearie me, I take my eyes off you for 1 second, you run away. Such naughty, naughty children. The hell are you? Welcome to my hunting ground, kittens. A woman. What's a woman? Whoever she is, she's good. Sharp enough to pick up on that, are we? Not only that, you're already back on your feet after getting a face full of gas. That's slightly impressive. That's a bracer for you, I suppose. Pointlessly tough, if nothing else. Quest 64, I think, is only like 5th worst of the games we've covered. Like, we can and have gone down from Quest 64. Why are you attacking the training grounds? What did we ever do to you? Oh, kitten, you're assuming I need to answer questions. Now you have 2 choices. Surrender quietly, or we have a little hunting party. The equipment to fighter. Didn't see any other equipment. And, admittedly, I got a little turned around because of the lack of minimap. Script. Well, I didn't, Maze, so I give up. And they're already doing art canceling. God damn it! It was 2 turns just getting in range. Jesus Christ.
Come on.
Ow. Well, I was gonna do this anyways, but sure. What? Damn, looks like she resisted. That is hilarious, Blade of all. I know she's just straight immune to impede. Let's be arrogant.
Oh yeah!
I like it a lot better than the jazz stuff, but I like Mega Man music, so how do I know? Seems I underestimated you. A little. I'll teach you to look down on bracers. First mistake was assuming we're just a pair of clueless little girls. So spirited and fiery now. We'll have to do something about that. This again. Hold your breath. It's okay. We're outside this time. It'll dissipate faster. Oh, kittens, you realize we've captured the tactician already, yes? You're all alone here now. Just give up to surrender. It'll be easier. She got away. It's okay. That won't be a recurring trend, right? Right, because I can see the future right now. I can predict that it'll be like, you defeated me. Skitter, 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 skitter. And off they go. They successfully escaped. We shouldn't chase her. Way too obvious a chat. Hey, Estelle, she said we've captured the tactician. Didn't we? Yeah, she was probably talking about Kurt. She had to be. Please, no. Don't worry. Even if he was caught, this is Kurt we're talking about. He'll be fine. This is the sort of thing we've been training for. I think so. Emergency decision making, technique, counterterrorism skills. Yeah, you're right. We'll put what we've learned to use. So let's return to the lounge. We're gonna buy up all our equipment again, because I didn't find it all. Oh god, that's horrifying. Although if you've played, World of Warcraft, Cookie, that's pretty much the Cookie fight, right? The Kata Cookie fight, to be clear. Yep, they know how to defeat cats, Magister. On the outside, it looks like nobody's here. Look at traps or something. Let's be careful. Whee! Sorry. That spear looks a lot like Kurt's. Let's have a look around. Yeah, he snapped his spear in half inside someone else. You don't have to, Mr. Red, but I'm going to be honest, you will be missing out if you don't. Maybe wait till tomorrow. Wait for a reset. You'll have an easier time of it, but you'll have a higher chance of getting through it all. Me and my group, we got lucky. We did it all pretty much the week it came out. And let me tell you, that's the best time to do raids. I'm not even joking. People haven't quite figured out the boss fights yet, but people are definitely there and eager to figure them out. So it's like the perfect combination of newbies who don't overgear it, but still actually want to do a good job of it, rather than too newbie, in which case they have no idea what they're doing and just wipe forever and ever, or too OP, in which case they just sweep. Agreed, Master. There's some damn good fights in that raid. And I can't give any of them a positive. The gameplay. The telephone has been smashed. No surprise from Pro Mercenaries. Yeah. Frickin' Jaegers, am I right? A map pinned here? Yeah, like the one we have. Yeah, don't mistake me. Story mode is good, but it is not enough. Aw, thank goodness. All her teddy bears are still here. Sorry, Kurt. I'm tired. I wonder how they resupply up here. Yep, sneakers are safe too. Gotta take care of the important things in life. They took all our food. The blood. What happened to Phyllis? Okay, we've given the lodge a once-over. They raided it for food, stole people, and left. What are these people, marauders? I think I have an idea what the enemy's doing. It still doesn't quite make sense, but only a few pieces come together. Think about it. You've seen what's in the lodge, and there was a tent in the forest. What did the foe do? Move to new base? Exactly. Glad we're on the same page. The tent was probably a staging point for attacking the lodge. Which means it was abandoned, because they moved somewhere else. Well, I get it, but they're obviously not using the lodge as a base either. They probably realized that it's hard to defend the lodge. If the guild ends up sending reinforcements, they're going to need a defensive position where they can keep the hostages. So they must have taken a position somewhere in Localization. But they think they can defend easily. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. The only place like that around here would be... Robert! You're safe. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Last night, Kurt gave me a chance to get away. I've been hiding ever since then. Oh, okay. We're really glad you're safe. Forgive me. I ran away and abandoned everyone. I'm a pathetic excuse for a man. I know it. Don't be so hard on yourself. These are Jaegers. Yeah, she's right. If anything, we're lucky they have one less hostage. Thanks, girls. You have any idea where Kurt and Phyllis are? You mentioned hostages. Well, explain. Got it. Base of Beavis Bend. It has to be Grimsel Fortress, then. There's a fortress in the canyon? Well, we call it a fortress, but it really isn't one. It's a new training ground we built recently based on modern military facilities. The idea is to train bracers in counter-terror operations and hijacking military bases, that sort of thing. I didn't realize there was a place like that in the canyon. It is on the map, though. Annalise? Yeah, let's do it. You weren't thinking of taking the fight to them by yourselves, are you? You at least call for guild backup, or they smashed the phone, Robert. They smashed my phone? Those... Robert, calm. Can you fix the phone? If you get it working, contact the guild. Let them know what's happened. Okay. In between your orbits, just stop by the workshop. Don't worry, it'll be definitely free, right? Right. It's all free. Right? Right. I know. It's an old cliche. It actually has a term. It's called Adam Smith Hates Your Guts. I was just debating, Lucas Slaughter. Like, what would I do if I was playing this normally? I know exactly what I'd do if I was playing this normally. I'd upgrade. Like, I've got a decent array of chords. Here's the cell. Screw it. We're gonna do what I would do. We're gonna play it normal like. There's something here. What, cat? What? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want that isn't attention? Ah! Guess I give the game more positives. Do it now. Do it before I lose myself to the darkness within. Now he doesn't get food for a few more hours. 6 more hours. I know, Easel. Say ah. You ever wonder if the items in these chests were meant for someone specific, and you have the nerve to take them all anyways? How rude. That's an improvement of 124 attack power. Just having a weapon equipped at all. Speaking of. Chest looks sad and deflated now that you've taken its stuff. We started? Nope. Karl Marx hates your guts. Which one's that one? Look, I know we don't have anything, but we can still hang out, right? Wait, come back! No, I think you're right, Easel. Like, in the first game, they would lunge right at me, like, very, very eager to initiate combat. If I was to use a comparison, the enemies in the first game felt like Dragon Quest VII, whereas the enemies in this game feel like Dragon Quest VIII. Which isn't going to mean anything if you haven't played those games, but if you have, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. I guess I can explain. In Dragon Quest VII and VIII, both games have the enemies are visible in overworld system, but the specific implementation of both is different. In 7, usually the areas you're traversing are really tiny, or the camera is zoomed so far in that you don't really have a lot of time to dodge, right? And, on top of that, in 7, a whole lot of enemies have this lunge thing that they do. It's practically an attack. They see you and they go, and they just beeline for you faster than you can move. In fact, even if you are actually ahead of them, like if you already have a head start on them, whoops, they will still catch up to you because they are just faster than you. Probably Malcolm. 8 obviously doesn't have that. The camera's zoomed out more. In fact, it's actually, the camera's at a different angle entirely, so you can see enemies coming better. So you have more chance to dodge them, and they don't do the thing in order to catch you. And I use that because I've remembered that for years as a good example of how the same system can be good or bad, depending on the implementation of that system. This is Grimsall Fortress. This is one weirdo training facility. No, I don't see or hear anyone from out here, but... yeah, no doubt about it. You can see the footprints of several people who've come through recently. Looks like that tracking training actually paid off. Anyway, given the number of footprints set, can't be that many enemies. 3 people? Maybe 4? Our enemies are good, they outnumber us, but we're senior bracers. Nothing we can't beat. Yeah, this music sounds very Breath of Fire 3, and I mean that as a compliment. Yeah, right now, Estelle frankly hasn't really coped. Feels like a strange way to put it. Like, she has not yet reached the point of being coped with what happened with Joshua and Weissman. Simplest way to put that. Sorry, one moment. Also, and this has nothing to do with the games. I mean, it does. But you remember how I talked about how I don't actually like using walkthroughs in games? It's really nice not using a walkthrough. I just wanted to say that, that's all. It's relaxing, you know? What'd you think of him, Mr. Red? Like, I was talking about this when we were going through it. I don't like... Hang on, pause. Even if a walkthrough is very well written, which 99% of them are not, I don't enjoy that action of pausing the game to go check the thing. That's true for strategy guides, too. Having to double check the strategy guide, like, hang on, what am I supposed to do here? Not fun, right? Now, there are precious rare exceptions to that. For example, if I just need to glance at, oh, what's this enemy weak to? That's fine. I don't need to do that in this game because it tells me right there, which is fantastic.
I'm invincible! Or am I?
And then you take into account that most walkthroughs are badly written, which, in addition to just being unclear, usually are badly formatted. How many of you have ever read a walkthrough, usually on GameFAQs, where it's like, okay, here's what you do for this dungeon, and there's a paragraph of text this big. There's no formatting, there's no nothing, it's just go do this, then go up this gate, go left through this gate, then go up to this gate, take the second left, go up through here, and it's just this giant block of text. And so you're trying to follow it, and then you run into, like, the next problem, right? So there's interrupting yourself in general, there's not always a clear walkthrough, but then there's, where was I? I hate where was I? You've seen me do this, I'm sure, where I'm like, I'll do this, right, or I'll do this, as I'm looking at the walk. I have nothing up right now, but like if I had the walkthrough up there and I'm trying to figure out where I was, therefore where I am, and therefore where I need to go. Like, I lost my place, right? Ugh. I need to make a walkthrough for a game sometime, just to prove that you can do a good one. I need to do that, with that incredible amount of spare time I have. Can you find the sort of stuff has military as a security thing? You know, movable wall. This place is used for infiltration or escape training. Military themed course? Oh, great. It's like being enliced in Fortress Lore again. Anyway. Are Jaegers in here? Yeah, that's a good bet. Anyways, probably don't know the place any better than we do. We should be cool. What's wrong? Carefully and deliberately? I remember Shira always telling me the same thing. Whoops, my dark horrible past is exposed. Yeah, it's something Shira used to tell me a lot. She was my mentor for a while, when I was still a newbie. Anyway, I was kind of scatterbrained, and I heard the line so much it eventually got burned in my skull. FF6 speedrun walkthrough. I could do that. I could probably do that from memory. But I mean, that's how speedruns work. You kind of, there's a lot of memorization involved. You know, the chest is empty, but it's served you well. Instead of opening it, you gave it a gentle pat on the head. Good chest. Good chest. Who's a good chest? Yep, first thing I do is I pull up ChatGPT, and then I burn half a liter of water saying, make me a walkthrough for FF6. Now, I'm not going to do that, because I like water too much to burn it on that. Ooh. Oh god, yeah, I could pick FF3 instead. I'll get his clock up at least. That's what I thought. See, that's the worst part about AI. Oh, it's not how it's destroying the environment or it's making people stupider. How it's like, you know, destroying people's livelihoods. Actually crapping on several large-scale artistic industries and cultural centers. No. It's the fact that I can't even properly make fun of it, because to do so is to engage in it. It's not working. Ugh. I want to walk up. I want to have a nice, calm, professional... Like, I want to walk up to, like, all the people. I want to get a nice meeting together. I want to be a nice business suit. And in a very serious, calm, cold mentality. I just want to say, all right, everyone here, I would like to know whose idea it was to try and mass implement AI-generated techniques and force them into the majority of our products. And then once people give their answers, I'm going to demand why. And regardless of their answers, they are fired. But exactly the type of answers they give would determine exactly how little severance pay they get from that firing. So, I was actually pretty involved in the gaming scene when FF7 came out, and Diddy. I mean, the internet was already a thing by the time FF7 came out, and I was already in school, high school. So, you know, duh, right? Even me, though, it was like, wait, what's FF7? Was pretty much the answer to that. Why are we skipping to 7? And that prompted a bit of research, and there we go, there's the answer. It actually took me a good month or two to finally change from calling it FF3 to FF6, just to name one example of that. That's a song. Most people I know who were not as involved in the scene were, like, did this weird thing where they just kind of assumed they missed the other games. Now, for the most part, that was, whatever. But how many of you know about someone who absolutely refuses to go through a particular franchise in anything other than order, intended order? I know plenty of people like that, personally. So I know several people who refused to play FF7 until they played FF1 through 6. That turned into a bit of a thing. Not a big thing, just a bit of a thing. Yeah, exactly. My brother-in-law is like that, just to name a specific example. I don't think so. Yeah, let's save up CP. We might need it for a boss battle coming up. But yes, so for those of you who haven't heard the story that 1,000 people have repeated 1,000 times. There was... I'll actually talk about this when it gets to review series. I just realized that. When FF1 and Dragon Quest 1 were both immediately localized into the West because the NES was basically printing money. However, both lagged behind pretty substantially because... And I don't have a simple way to put this. There really wasn't a localization thing. Like, there wasn't much of a localization industry at the time. So a lot of that stuff was either done in-house or by independent contractors. Make sense? For example, Nintendo had their own NOA team who handled most of their stuff, and they made plenty of mistakes. But they were ahead of the curve for the most part because a lot of Nintendo stuff was reasonably well localized over in the West. Everyone else, nah. So FF1 didn't come out in the West until quite a bit after it came out in Japan. So far out that, if I'm remembering my dates correctly, FF2 was already out by the time FF1 was localized in the West. I know Dragon Quest had a similar problem. So when they were discussing whether or not to do FF2, there was a big debate about that, especially since the team was mostly working on FF3 at the time. Most Sega games don't have dialogue, Mr. Red, is my answer to you. FF1 was actually pretty well localized for the time, which I want to remind you... Oh, that's mean. I like that, though. Which was still a bad localization, to be very clear. It's just, for the time, it was actually ahead of the curve. So, they were working on FF3, and there was a big how-to-do, and what do we do? FF1 certainly sold in the West. It did, for the record. It was... Any idiot in a suit who tells you that the FF series doesn't sell well in the West is lying to you for whatever nonsensical reasons they have to do so. But by the time they got to... There they are. Is this creature I want to Estelle you sometime? By the time they got to thinking about localizing 2, 3 was already in production. So they just kind of didn't prioritize it. I mean, nobody likes Final Fantasy in the West, right? And let's be extremely honest with ourselves. There's honestly probably just racism here. Just straight up racism. As we talked about before, with the very franchise we're playing right now... Oh, that's eye cancer. There's nothing inherently wrong with a game just taking longer to come out in another localization. That's semi-normal, I might even be so bold as to say. This is interesting. Oh, excuse me, it was 3 instead of 2, so I was actually off on my timeline, but only by a year. Anyways, point being, FF4 was one they really threw themselves into. And they really wanted FF4 to land, so they actually bothered with localizing FF4. However, they don't want to confuse those poor, innocent, stupid, worthless American dogs, so they went ahead and renamed it FF2 instead of FF4, just to avoid the confusion, which naturally led to actual real-life years of confusion over the stupidity of it. They skipped 5 for reasons we'll talk about when we get there. There's actually a few. And then when 6 was getting localized, thank you, Woolsey, for basically making sure that that happened. They just called it 3, because what really was the 3rd Final Fantasy, or like the 7th Final Fantasy, to come out here.
Oh yeah!
I know what you're thinking. 7th? Yeah, so one of the things that they were doing, and this just further shows how stupid their whole Americans don't like FF argument always has been, is they insisted on renaming several other franchises Final Fantasy to get the star power of that, right? They only did that in the West, though. Actually, no, that's a commonly misreported fact. The slightly more nuanced fact is that they based the FF4 localization in the West off of FF4 Easy Type, which itself was based off of the original FF4.
Piece of cake!
Tell me about it. So yeah, that's why we got Final Fantasy Adventure and Final Fantasy Legends, which is the Mana, the Seiken Densetsu, and the Saga series, respectively. Mystic Quest was kind of different. Mystic Quest actually has a fascinating story behind it, which I've actually already covered. But to summarize, it was intended to be a full-fledged FF, and indeed there was actually a lot of ideas to make it far more complex, and blah blah blah. And they just ended up boiling down to simplifying it to make it a tutorial Final Fantasy. Then because of racism, they called it Final Fantasy USA. I know, that's not what it's called here, but that was the original title of the game. They changed it to Mystic Quest. Although, in Europe, it's actually called something else, because there was already a Mystic Quest in Europe. I forget what they called it in Europe, forgive me. Sure. Ask your question, Elizar. And I will stab you. Oh, yes. There will be so many stabs. Sorry. What? Don't worry. It's stabs with donuts. Gotta get that sugar in there. One way or another, you're taking this donut. What's funny is Final Fantasy Adventure, I don't know how well it'll score when we get there. I do plan to review that along with most of the Mana series. But FFA, that is to say, Seiken Densetsu 1, properly more known as Sword of Mana.
I am invincible!
was really ahead of the times in many ways. Like, way ahead of the times.
Oh yeah!
There's probably a story. Well, apparently they called it Mystic Quest Legend. Oh, wow. Eh. I guess I couldn't remember what they called it in Europe. I knew it was something. Yeah, we're still at the prologue. What's this? Seems on some kind of device. Looks like an Orban switch. Probably good to take it with us, right? This place is a training facility, so it might be used to open trap areas or something. You know what I'm really looking forward to about the second chapter, if the game is properly balanced? Not spending every single lunch and dinner part of the last week grinding off camera. This is the 56th chest you've opened. Congrats. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm not even counting. Like, I'm sorry. I don't like doing that in general. I know, weird, but I don't like not taking breaks when I'm working, especially on longer games. I did that with Tears of the Kingdom as well, and Breath of the Wild.
I'm invincible! Or am I?
And FF14. Oh, that was it. So FFA was released as Mystic Quest. Gotcha.
Or am I?
I knew there was a connection there. I know. Nomenclature. Justice prevails. That's an interesting statement. It's just a little bit too loud. I'm just gonna turn that down one notch there. Oh, heal a spot. Finally made your way here, did you freaking brats? So you finally show your face. I'm the newest outpost of the Jaegers in the Lehman State, kidlets. Did you have fun with all those great traps we left for you? Yeah, Beryl laughs. Thanks for that. More to the point, I'm guessing you're keeping Kurt and Phyllis behind that door, right? How would you let them go before I pry off that mask and paint your face with my sword? Oh my god. Sure about you on, little chicks. You come so far, not even realize this will be your grave. How sad. How very like a bracer. Isn't that our line? I have no idea what you guys are trying to accomplish here, but you really backed yourselves into a corner. The heck do you... Yeah, guild reinforcements are going to be here soon. Once they get here, you're out of luck. Try again, girl, we smashed your phone. How'd you make contact with reinforcements without that? Crap, I need to pull out a really good bluff. Several neutralians are going to be arriving today. With them on our side, you don't stand a chance. Estelle. Oh, really? That's good to hear. I'll just set a little ambush at the canyon entrance. As long as they aren't ready for us, we can slaughter them all nice and quick-like. Work as a bluff. Either way, you brats are an eyesore. Best use for your skins will be as cleaning rags for our new base. That is... Okay. Speaking as a janitor, using someone's ripped-off skin is not going to make the walls cleaner. I was just guessing, Lucas Slaughter.
Guys, come on!
Why do they move so little in this one? I've noticed that. So you're mining diamonds and gold and got very far, like 10 diamonds and 12 gold. Put them in a chest, but forgot to lock the door in a cave. So a creeper came and exploded. And you lost them. Do you think that's BS? We'll circle back to that question. Can I? I cannot, actually. I think you're allowed to cheat. Eleazar, let me be very, very clear. You do not need my permission to cheat. You don't need anybody's permission to cheat. The only reason I care about cheating, really, is because of professionalism. Because cheating negates some of the validity of a run. And it is my job to be as professional as I possibly can about reviewing a game, and that means being thorough. You are just playing Minecraft for fun. You can cheat as much as you want. Buffs do not last long in these games, do they? Correct, Eleazar. What the hell was that?
Piece of cake.
I mean, if you want to say that you want to learn the game legit, then do it. You don't need my permission or approval to do that, or to not do that. Because you're right, creepers are an issue that have to be dealt with, and there are many methods that exist within the game to deal with them, not the least of which being what you just mentioned, leaving the door closed. There's also ways to defeat creepers without actually making them explode, or you could just lure them away and have them explode there, and there's other stuff as well. That is part of the game. Shrug. The up and down one is an attack pusher, that's why I keep using it, Dream Whisperer. It's an attack delay, it pushes them further down the initiative. Yeah, sure good at being tricked. Man, you guys are great. What a beatdown. More enemies? No. Come on, I'm not even changing my voice anymore. Don't tell me you can't figure it out. Really a tough. No way. Karna? Bingo. Annalise, Estelle, it's really been a while, hasn't it? Wow, yeah, but what are you doing in a Jaeger suit? Wait, that means the guy over there is... Grant? Hey, two. Great work. Do you mean this is all... Yeah, so... Of course the guy fighting us with the spear was Kurt. I mean, come on, right? I'm going to be honest, I didn't catch that until I got to this base and started seeing how the puzzles were set up. And then he's like, how'd you like the puzzles we set up? And I'm like... Okay, that's them. So I'll be honest, it took me a while to catch on to that. The problem is that's a judgment call, Eleazar. Everything in last night's attack has been a performance? Exactly. It's a long-standing place tradition. The idea is to put trainees in a life-threatening situation in order to see how well they utilize their newly learned skills. You freaking kidding me? When Kurt told us your finals would come up, we rode our butts out here from Liberal to help out. It was a lot of fun. Fun? Ugh. You guys are the worst. We really thought it was hitting the fan. We were out of our minds with worry. That was part of the point, in fact. Just so you're aware, real Jaegers would not have been half as gentle. I know it's hard for you to imagine since the Jaegers were barred from operating in Liberal, but across the rest of the continent, we're on each other's throats almost constantly. So most bracers have to be prepared to fight in life-threatening situations at any moment. I want to make sure Liberalian newbies have a chance to experience that. I know it seems rough, but we're not being mean just for cruelty's sake. It's no fair. I mean, this is an extremely common trope in fiction. How applicable it is in real life is a lot more debatable. But this is a really common thing in fiction. Kingsman did this, for example. More than once, actually. The movie. I hated it so much I gave it a positive retro justice. I even hated Ross, and comparing this game to BoF 3, which I've done like 3 times today. Looks like you're finally done beating the stuffing out of one another. Phyllis! Phyllis is in the conspiracy too. Aw, I can't trust any of you. Now, conspiracy is a bit much. They said they needed me for your test, so I tried to remember my lines. Made a perfect tragic lodge-keeper heroine, if you ask me. Yeah, we were totally fooled last night. Hello, Sarani. Excellent work, you two. Here's the last little liar. You were all in on it? I'm guessing the telephone. Yeah, it has an old piece of junk I'd lying around. I keep the real phone somewhere safe. I already rebounded it, no worries. Actually, I was supposed to be a hostage myself and not show up today, but I really wanted to see you use the new ordnance. Man, you guys seriously covered every angle. I guess it's our fault for getting tricked, huh? Much as I hate to admit it, yeah. If you think about it rationally, a lot of stuff didn't make sense. Just shows to how far it just shows how far we have to go, I guess. Don't be too hard on yourselves. As Karna and Grant said, the point of this exercise was to give you a life-threatening experience to work through with your skills. In that sense, the exercise has been a runaway success. Now then, Annalise Elfeed. Estelle Bright. As of this moment, you've completed the Bob training program. You've learned a great deal over the past month. 2 tickets on the next flight to Liberal have already been arranged for you. Nothing more will happen tonight, I promise, so rest easy. Tonight we congratulate our new graduates and stuff them properly at a nice big farewell party. Meanwhile, Liberal Kingdom, location unknown. Ah, what a lovely little hideaway. Professor's taste remains excellent, as always. You're late, Campanella. My Mr. Bladelord, hello. It's been so very long. Last 6 months were so dreadfully dreary without you. I doubt you mean that. I understand how you handled the attacks on the Bracer Guild in Erebonia. You must have enjoyed playing with Cassius Bright. Aw, you heard about that already? There goes half my fun. But oh yes, the man was incredible. There's no way he could have known about me, yet he always managed to put together a proper counter to everything I did. As a result, I broke one of our Jaeger Corps, I'm afraid. You broke Jester, huh? I did train them to some degree, but normal men have their limits. I suppose throwing them up against the Divine Blade was too much to ask of such men. Yeah, I managed to keep him tied up till a little sabotage mission was completed, so all's well that ends well. Oh wait, I'm sorry, were you looking forward to having fun with him yourself? A little. The Blade has been bound by the chains of duty. There's no longer any hope of stopping us through official means. He's no longer a threat. Looks like the Professor's plan succeeded brilliantly. The other members are already in Liberal, then? Yeah, we all conferred for the first time yesterday. Blue Blanc has apparently been here for a while, however. The Phantom Thief, the Dire Wolf, the Bewitching Bell, and the Angel of Slaughter. All of them powerful, and not a normal one in the lot. Mind you, you're not exactly going to be talking on that score. Speaking of the hopelessly crazy, what about him? He's still playing hard to get. No, it's going to be so much fun. Out of all the Enforcers, he's the finest undercover operative we have. Well, had. I wonder how long he can evade the sight of the Blade Lord and the Faceless. In his heart, he abandoned the Society years ago, with all that entails. I doubt he'll be able to pose any real threat. I'm not sure I'd say that. Hello, Weissman. Hello, Campanella. Good of you to come all this way. You have my sincere thanks for your excellent work in delaying Cassius Bright. Yeah, it was no trouble. It was a bit of fun. It was a fun bit of work, in fact. Speaking of fun, though, I must say, I've taken a look at your plan. Seems like you're preparing to have quite a lot of fun. Well, well. Such praise from the fool. I'm flattered. I think you'll find it even more enjoyable in practice. Compounding your delight will be the fact that everyone participating is pursuing their own individual goals as well. Myself included, of course. Even our fine silver-haired friend here has his own plans in mind. I won't deny it. I'll kindly ask you not to imply anything about my loyalty, however. Oh, no, it was simply a jest, nothing more. Oh, I see. There's more to you than meets the eye here. I do so love such games. Well, either way, your bad taste has a special kind of artistry to it, Professor. As for me, I'm going to make sure I enjoy myself. Come now, bad taste. You wound me. Regardless, you're free to watch the plan unfold to your heart's content. You are, after all, a representative of the Grand Master. Oh, I intend to. And so, enforcer number 0, Campanella the Fool, enters the audience. Well, Weissman, I shall enjoy watching the Anguis's gospel plan unfold to the very end. Meanwhile, again, the Erebonian border, excuse me. Tell me that's not who I think it is. Okay, them not talking is a definite step up. I'll give you that game. Karen, I'm home. Hey, Joshua, where'd you go? Whew, good. There you are. Jeez, don't freak me out like that, running off on your own. Why did you follow me? I told you I have personal business here and you did not have to come. Oh, thanks. Real cute with the gratitude there. After I ran out here to look for you. Yeah, plus being all, hey, mind your own business, that's like asking us to follow you. Don't quite get the interest, though. Nothing but burnt-out shells and ruins here. This looks old, too. We lived up in the northern march a few years back, but I never heard anything about a town in the south burning to the ground. Bit of a shock, this. What was that village called, lad? Hamel. That's what it was called once. Hamel, never heard of it. Cal, you ever heard of it? Doesn't ring any bells, I'm afraid. You got anything done? How about a second? The Imperial government might have said something about a Hamel way back when. It's been too long, I can't remember what it was about. Real help, bro, thanks. My business here is done. I thank you for coming out here, even though it doesn't really concern you. Yeah, it's no big, but mind if I ask something? You're acting way different than the first time we met. You're not leaning on anything, are you? That's a little ironic coming from you. As I seem to recall, you were putting on quite the performance when we first met. What I used to do was not really all that different. So what is this, the real you or something? The real me. If you want to think of it that way, you can. You see, I am a lost soul. Desperate, afraid, and in terrible pain. But if only I could reach the one person who could heal my wounded heart. But I shall never see her again. For I am damned to never... Okay, I'll stop. Point is, I'm hardly a bracer any longer. And I'm certainly not the young junior bracer you remember. Well, we're obviously missing some details, but I can respect the fact you have your own reasons for doing what you do. Besides, you seem way easier to trust now, being more honest, in a way. Not quite like before when you were wearing a sheepskin, I guess you call it. Besides, we owe you for saving us from the Royal Army. We'll let your little insolences slide for now. Do you not know what a judgment call is, Elizar? Could someone explain a judgment call to Elizar, please? You hardly need to let anything slide. I saved you because I required useful pawns. All I need is for you to worked enough to pay that debt back. You really have a thing for getting the last word in, don't you? Well, it doesn't matter to us. Your plan is exactly what we needed anyway. We'll be making plenty of use of you too, Mr. Chessmaster. As you wish. Simply remaining in my company puts you in a great deal of danger. I'll support you to the best of my ability through what is to come. Ugh, ungrateful, unreliable, and uncute. I thought even for a second. Shut it. Just drop it, okay? Josette, calm down. The point is we're allies until we achieve our goals. We'll be counting on you, Joshua. Yes. As am I with you. Shall we head out? Yes, let's return. To the land being swallowed by the creeping shadow. Listen. Josette is his one true love, okay? Don't you mean love? Nope. One true love. Well, we're out of the prologue. It's actually quicker than I thought it would be. Just in time for lunch.